Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the KB Cast. It's been a while. A very significant update is that I just reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that's insane to even say because I never thought that I'd be saying that. It's been such a long ride and journey to get to this point, and I'm very grateful and happy. But yeah, it would have happened way sooner if I would have just got off my ass and actually tried. But you can't control the past, and we're doing that now. So we can get into that in another podcast episode. That's for another time. Today we're here for Business Proposal. Probably my favorite K-drama that I've watched so far. I haven't watched a lot of them, but this one continues to be my favorite. It was almost beat out by It's Okay Not to Be Okay. But ultimately, I just have a soft spot in my heart for Business Proposal. So that one is still my favorite. I had a lot of debate about this, what I'm doing right now. I was like, is this gonna be, because at first I was planning on this to be a rewatch podcast specifically, like that's the only thing I did. But then I was like, I don't really have a lot to say about a lot of the things that I'll watch and that I'll like and listen to. So I'm just gonna make the podcast general. If you've been watching me from like years and years back, if you're an OG, then you know I had my first podcast was called the KB Cast, and I would start it and end it and start it over and end it, and it was a continuous cycle. But now I decided, you know what, let's just make this podcast the KB Cast again, and it can stay for good. And the rewatch can be, I can have like different recurring segments or episodes, and the rewatch thing can be a part of it. So that's what this is. This is another rewatch episode of my podcast. There will be personal episodes about music and whatever else I want to talk about. In the Exo Kitty episode, I was also an update from the last episode. I was really stressing about whether Exo Kitty was going to get renewed for a season 3 or not. And a few weeks after I posted the episode, they announced season 3. And I was so excited. So yeah, when season 3 of Exo Kitty comes out, I'll be back here doing another episode for that. But yeah, this episode is about Business Proposal. We're gonna discuss it, and I'm gonna rewatch it and give you my commentary and my thoughts that I've never gotten to share. So Business Proposal. Business Proposal was the very first K-drama that I watched. The very first one. I've been a K-pop fan since August 2018, so that's almost 7 years. For most of those years, I wasn't really into K-dramas, and I don't know why. It just never, like, I just never got into them until 2021, I would say. I think that's when I first got into it. No, when did Business Proposal come out? I don't remember. It was either 2021 or 2022 is when I got into K-dramas, and I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw Business Proposal, and I was like, oh, this is a K-drama. It looks interesting. I watched the preview. It looked interesting. I was like, oh, I guess I'll watch this. I'll give it a try. My first K-drama. Watched it and immediately just fell in love with it and fell in love with K-dramas, and I'm obsessed with it. It's literally my favorite ever. One of my favorite TV shows just in general. Not even favorite K-drama, just favorite TV show in general. It's so good. I just have such a soft spot for it. As you probably already know, I am a romance freak. I love romance and the romance genre, so I don't know how I didn't get into K-drama sooner, but now I am, and I'm completely obsessed. Just completely obsessed. I love Hottie and Taemu. I would die for them. They're one of my favorite fictional couples ever. Like top 10 fictional couples, they're on that list. I love them so much. I love what's her name? You literally just watched the show. What's her friend's name? Oh my gosh, what is her friend's name? Youngso. I was like, what is her name? Youngso, Hottie's friend. And Secretary Cha, also love them too. They're so good together. Their chemistry is just so like obvious, and just they're so good together. I just get they're a great couple. And I know it's like they're supposed to be like the side characters and they're like the B story, but it also feels like they're the main characters at the same time, you know? It's like we have two sets of main characters. They don't feel like they're like a separate or like a side thing. They feel very important, and like you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I think we can just get into the show now. So I watched a little bit of episode. When I rewatch the show, I usually start from the episode where Hadi and Taemu get together. And that's where I start my rewatch from. I'll go from like, I think it's like episode 5 to, is it episode 5 or maybe it's like episode 8 or something where they get together. It's between 5 and 8. It's one of those where Hadi and Taemu finally get together for real, and that's where I start my rewatch because I already went through the will they won't they tension once, yearning once. I don't want to go through it again. So every time I rewatch a romance thing, I always just skip to when the characters get together and watch from there. But for the sake of this podcast, and since it's supposed to be a commentary rewatch type of thing, I am watching it from the beginning. So off camera, I watched a little bit of episode 1. I think I'm like halfway through it, and I wrote down notes as I was watching so that I can give you my commentary, and then we can get into actually watching it and doing it off the cuff. Okay, if you don't know already, Business Proposal is based off of a webtoon, which if you are not familiar, it's like a comic book type thing, but on your phone. It's like a comic book, but on the internet. I was not familiar with the webtoon before I watched Business Proposal. Obviously, I watched it blind, but after I watched it and did my research on everything about the show like a maniac, like usual, I figured out about the webtoon, and I saw that a lot of people were saying that the casting was perfect because the actors look just like their webtoon characters. And in the first episode, obviously, it starts with like the webtoon drawings, and then it shows An Hyo-sup, who plays Taemu, and I was like, wow, they were right. Well, when I first watched it, I didn't know why they were showing like the cartoon part, and then I found out it's because it's based on a webtoon. Then I was like, oh, that makes sense now. He looks just like his webtoon. Not only do all of them look just like their webtoon characters, the Secretary Cha specifically, he looks exactly like the webtoon character of his character. The webtoon version of his character. He looks exactly the same. They hit the nail on the head with that one. I know the casting director was feeling themselves. Another thing that hit me about the show was the editing. I just think the editing of the show is so unique and so good. And what made me write that down was in episode 1 when Hadi and Youngso are talking on the phone about Minwoo. Don't even get me started on Minwoo's ass, bro. We'll get there, but bro, I do not like that man. Anyway, we'll get to that later. But yeah, when they were talking on the phone about Minwoo and it was some metaphor about going from being a friend to a boyfriend about trains, something like that. I don't remember the exact line, and I should. But when it flashed back to a moment where Hadi found out that Minwoo had a necklace back in his back area of his restaurant, and Hadi was like, oh, it has my birthstone, and it was like, maybe it's for you. This is not important. I don't even know why I'm going into this, but after the flashback scene, it transitions out, and the flashback scene is in the window of the train, and it pans back to Hadi in present time. I just think the transitions and the editing is just so good. That was just a roundabout way of me saying I like the editing. I like the transitions. That was a lot of words. And yeah, if you don't know, spoiler alert, obviously. But basically, one of the plot points in the show is Taemu's grandfather wants him to get married. So he set up all of these blind dates for him so that he could pick one of them and get married to them because he wants him to be married for whatever reason. And I just wrote down, what is rich people's obsessions with arranged marriages? Does that actually happen in real life? And literally, Like every single romance thing about rich people is always an arranged marriage, or like my parents set me up on a date, on a blind date. My parents want me to marry this person. Why are rich people so obsessed with arranged marriages? Like, I don't understand. And does that actually happen in real life? I mean, it has to, right? I feel like that's a stupid question to even ask. Like, of course it does. And I know it's probably because of business stuff. It's because the rich want to get richer. I guess I just answered my own question. I answered both of my own questions in the span of like 10 seconds. I don't understand it. I don't stand for it. I don't. Arranged marriages might work for some people, and you know what? Congratulations to you. But I just don't like that forcing romanticism between. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm like extra giddy today. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but it's because I reached 1,000 subscribers, and I've just been on a high all day because of it. Because I've been waiting for this for so long. You don't understand. Yeah, but arranged marriages, boo, tomato, not for it. And I love that in the show there's a fake K-drama. I don't remember what the fake K-drama is called. I'm sure I'll see it once I watch it again. But I love that there's a fake K-drama within the K-drama that weirdly kind of reflects the situations that are actually happening in the show, in that fake show. It's so meta and it's funny. And I just really like that. Well, since this was my first K-drama, this was also my introduction into like the dramatization of K-drama, you know, like the slow motion scenes when the female protagonist is about to fall and the male lead grabs her arm and it's in slow motion, or like puts his arm around her, and they just look at each other so longingly. If you watch K-dramas, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this was my introduction to that. And yeah, it's very cheesy and dramatic. And some people can see it as cringe. I get that. But I'm all for it. I like cheesy. If you like the romance genre, you have to learn to like cheesy. And I do. But the scene in episode 1 where Hadi thinks that Minwoo was holding the cake for her, and she runs to him, and that's when it's has that slow motion moment, and they accidentally like run into each other, and she ruins the cake for the people who was actually for. Yeah, that gave me secondhand embarrassment. None of the scenes like that have ever made me want to actually cringe, except for that one. I don't even like saying the word cringe. I need to stop because I don't even like the word cringe in general. And also I noticed, well, I wouldn't have noticed it if there wasn't a subtitle at the bottom, but after the whole cake thing where she thinks that he got the cake for her, the scene I was just talking about, after the scene that I was just talking about, and then he gives her tickets to a concert to go see with another guy and not Youngso. Yikes. She walks to the bus stop all dejected and sits down, and on the bus stop next to her is an ad for the webtoon, for the business proposal webtoon. There's an ad for it right next to her in the scene. And I know it was just supposed to be like a nod, like a funny nod for the viewers, but when you actually think about it, that's so trippy. Like, so the webtoon exists in the world of the show that it's based on. Like, that's so weird to think about. Like, imagine Hadi going on the internet and finding that webtoon and being like, this is my life. Like, how do they know my life events bar by bar? Like, wouldn't you be freaked out if you were her? I think about things way too deeply, and that just really perplexed me. I was like, that would be very traumatic for the characters if they knew about that. Yeah, Minwoo is just, like I said, I'm gonna get more into tearing into that man later, but he's just so stupid. I'm just gonna say that for now. He's just so stupid and oblivious. Telling this girl, giving her 2 concert tickets for her birthday, and being like, you should take a guy to the concert and not Youngso, but don't take me. Are you fucking dumb, bro? She likes you. But yeah, even though I don't like using the word cringe, that scene, it hit me. It hit me in that cringe bone. Ouch. Take a guy to the concert, but not this guy. Yeah, unrequited love. Unrequited love, I still don't know what the correct way to say it is. It sucks. Take it from me. Somebody who's experienced it more times than they should admit. And I relate to her in that way. I feel for her in that way. And that's what really, I think, contributes to my love for this show. It really sucks. And I felt really bad for her. Oh yeah, I wrote down, I wanted to shout out the scene that I loved. It's the scene where Taemu's grandfather asks if him and Secretary Cha are dating. And that scene, episode 1, that scene specifically is when I was like, okay, I love this show. That's when I decided, okay, this is one of my favorite shows of all time. Because that was so funny. Because first of all, good for them and the writers and everybody involved for putting that in the show, in a Korean show specifically, and it not being a big deal. There was no like disgust behind it. It was just funny and good on them for doing that, because Korea has a long way to go when it comes to LGBTQ plus issues, and honestly so does America, but we should not get into that. But I just love that they included that. And that scene is so funny, and I love it so much, especially after he asked that, Secretary Cha was like, I'm not gay, but even if I was, Taemu's not my style. And then Taemu got offended. I just thought that was so funny. I love him, and I love Taemu and Secretary Cha's romance so much. I mean, not romance. The Freudian slip. I love their bromance so much, is what I meant to say. I love their friendship. It's so cute. But speaking of Taemu's grandfather, he is kind of a bad person. And I mean, obviously, because he's rich. I'm not saying all rich people are bad people, but some of them are, and he is. Like the way he was just faking all of those medical emergencies and issues just to get Taemu to do what he wanted. Are you serious, bro? That is so fucked up. And obviously, none of them worked. And actually, the last time he did it, he actually had a medical problem, but we'll get to that later. And that was kind of his karma. And also that doctor that worked at that hospital that would help him fake these medical issues. Like, how are you still working? How have you not been fired? Excuse me? That man is corrupt and he needs to be disbarred. That's lawyers. What is it called? What is it called when doctors are no longer allowed to be doctors? It's disbarred is for lawyers. I don't know what the term for doctors is. But he needs to be fired. And he should not be a doctor if he's willing to lie like that. But of course he's not, because he has a rich and powerful person, his grandfather, supporting him. So he's not going to be fired. And that honestly sucks. Let me look this up. Disbarred, but for doctors. Oh, there's no term. They just get their license revoked. He needs to have his medical license revoked. That's what I meant to say. Disbarred, but for doctors. That's literally what I typed into the Google search engine. Oh God. He needs to have his license revoked immediately. And the last thing I wrote is I kind of hated Hari's mom at first, but I guess she came around in the end. Yeah. Hari's mom was kind of like, for me in the first few episodes. But then I guess in the end, she did come around and she became a better character, and I liked her at the end. But at the beginning, it was like, ugh, you know? And I guess that's just like mothers. I know that some moms have a tendency to be like her and overbearing and overprotective, feeling like they can never be wrong, you know? Like in the first episode, after they got into a fight with the store owner across the street, their neighbor, she was yelling at Hadi and her brother, like, why do you have a temper? Like, I didn't know you had such a temper. Where did you get that from? Think about it real hard, mother. Where do you think she got that from? And then after, like, yelling at Hottie and hitting her on her birthday, mind you, Hottie's like, it's my birthday. Why are you doing this to me? And she storms off and she was like, you're just using that as an excuse. And it's like, ugh. Like, ick, ick, ick. And then she says, I made you seaweed soup this morning. Was that enough? And then her father, after that, reveals, like, you actually forgot to make her seaweed soup, so stop. First, I was like, go off, first of all. But that's just so annoying and embarrassing. So first of all, be like, I did this one thing for you for your birthday. Isn't that enough? Like, no, it's your daughter's birthday. Yeah, I don't know. That scene just made me not like her, but she did redeem herself as the show went on. But yeah, that's all the notes I have for episode 1 so far, because the episode's not over yet. And we're already 36 minutes into this podcast, and we're only halfway through episode 1. So this is probably going to be a very long podcast. So I hope you stick around for it. I hope you're enjoying it. We're about to actually start watching the show and giving the commentary as we go, like live. So let's get right into it. I just got to the scene where Hottie obviously dresses up as Youngso and goes and meets this guy who she thinks is a random person, but it actually ends up being Taemu, her boss. You know, if you watch the show, blah, blah, blah. That whole scene is like, first of all, that's that scene where she like tries to scare him off, but he's actually into it, was my first introduction to the show. When I was scrolling on Netflix and saw the show, that was the preview that played in the menu screen. And that's what really made me want to watch the show. And I just love, I love Kim Se-jong. She's so good. She's such a good actor. She's so funny. She does it so well. The whole part where she says these random phrases in English. She's like, I'm so hot. And then she calls her boobs Samantha and Rachel. And she does all these things to try to scare him off, but Taemu's actually into it. Because like he said, he likes a person who's actually honest. And she tries for this. After all the things she tries to do that didn't scare him off, she puts one final nail in the coffin and is like, how about we get a room together? First of all, one of them was her taking off her jacket and revealing that she doesn't have sleeves. And she was like, a man never likes a woman who shows too much skin. First of all, fuck that. I just want to make that clear. Fuck that. She's like, let's get a room, because she thinks that a girl wanting to get a room on the first date would scare any guy off. But Taemu looks down and sees that her foot is shaking and like smirks to himself, and he's like, okay, let's get a room. Hard cut to them getting a room. Hottie is obviously freaking out because she's like, this is my boss. I'm pretending to be somebody I'm not. Am I really about to, go to town with the president of the company I work for? And I still can't tell if he actually legitimately wanted to get a room with her or if he was just trying to call her bluff, because he saw her foot shake and smirked and then agreed, and then after he bought the room and was about to lead her to it, he also smirked. So I can't tell if he actually wanted to get a room, like he wanted that action, or if he was just trying to call her bluff. But anyway, that whole scene was crazy. And then right after that happened, this random girl snatches Hottie's weave and is like, I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm Minshik's girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. She basically thinks that Hottie is the girl that her boyfriend Minshik is cheating on her with. And it's like, and the first thing she says is, I bet you don't know who I am, do you? And it's like, girl, if your boyfriend is cheating on you and the woman didn't know that you existed, you should not be trying to beat her ass. You should be trying to beat your boyfriend's ass. You need to be yelling at and grabbing the hair of your man, and not this random girl who probably didn't even know that he was in a relationship. Because if you're saying, I bet you don't know who I am, that means that the actual girl did not know that he had a girlfriend. So you should not be going after her. You need to be talking to her like, hey, this is the situation. You need to have this energy for your boyfriend and not the girl that he was cheating on you with, basically. You need to get your man in check, is what I'm saying. And why are you with him? Break up with him. You still proudly claiming to be his girlfriend when he's obviously cheating on you. Break up with him. I really don't understand. But anyways, yeah. I just thought that scene was really funny, and the woman that pulled her hair is really stupid. So yeah, I'm going back to the show now. We're still on episode 1, which is crazy. For XO Kitty, it was easier and it was shorter because the episodes were like 20 minutes, 30 minutes a piece. For these, for K-dramas, all of the episodes are like an hour long. So this is gonna be, I don't know how long this podcast is gonna be, but it's probably gonna be very long. So I hope you'll stick around. Okay, I paused before the voice of reason, Taemu, jumped in. And he literally was like, he put his hands on her shoulders, like, why don't you go get your boyfriend in control? That's literally what I said. I forgot he said that. And he was like, it takes two to cheat. It's not something she did on her own. Thank you, Kang Taemu, the man that you are. I love this man. And then after the day, she says to Young, so I used all the personalities that guys hate, so I'm sure he won't contact you again. When literally 10 seconds ago, he literally just declared to his grandfather that he's gonna marry that woman. That's crazy. We've gotten to the scene where they're at the karaoke place and they were singing Into the New World by Girls' Generation. Now, if you don't know, I didn't become a K-pop fan until like late summer 2018, August 2018. So Into the New World was a new world for me. It was a new discovery for me, pun intended. So I didn't discover Into the New World until recently. I love that song. It's so good. And the scene of them duetting it is just so iconic because both of them are so talented. They both can sing very well, and the whole performance was just iconic. Obviously, when I first watched the show, I did recognize that was Into the New World because I knew of the song. I just hadn't really gotten into older K-pop yet. But now I am, and now I love it. And Sejong is such a good singer. Not only a good actor, but an amazing singer. Okay, the last note she did intentionally bad on purpose, but that's how you know that she's a great actor because she can actually sing very well in real life. But she still got an 100, which is crazy. And she's obviously, her character is supposed to be like a little tipsy and whatever. But yeah, she just figured out that Taemu wants to marry the Youngso that she played, so she's literally about to enter a new world. She's going into a new world that she has no idea what's coming. This show is literally a roller coaster. Thinking back to all the events that happened and really like rewatching it and realizing all the shit that happens in this show, it's so much. It's so much. Now we're on to the scene where they meet up again after he declared that he wanted to marry Youngso, quote unquote, and him and Hottie in disguise meet up again, and she rejects him. Look, all I'm saying, first of all, I just want to say it's so weird to watch this from the beginning because like I said, when I rewatch this show, I usually watch it from like episode 8 when they finally get together on. So it just it's so weird. It feels like I'm watching the show for the first time because I really don't remember the first like 6 or 7 episodes because I don't rewatch them as much as I rewatch the second half. But anyways, back to the scene. All I'm saying, I know the whole situation. I understand it for the characters. This has nothing to do with the show itself. If a guy like Taemu, this tall, handsome, rich, successful man, is like, hey, I want to marry you. I personally, look, hear me out. I personally would not be so quick to reject him. All I'm saying is, a man like Taemu, a man that carries himself like Taemu, no matter how many dates we've been on, no matter what the situation, I would not be so quick to reject. If it was me, if An Hyo-sub came up to me, it was like, hey, let's get married, I would not be saying no. See, I'm too delusional and I'm too much of a hopeless romantic. That's exactly why at some point I will probably... That's exactly why at some point I will probably be abducted and or murdered. That was so stupid. Let's move on. Okay, episode 1 just ended. where when Hadi is leaving the cafe that her and Tamu met up at, and she said he wanted to marry you. The scene I was just talking about, where I was being a delusional bitch. I'm just saying, personally, you would not see me rejecting a person like Tamu or An Hyo-seo. Anyways, Hadi's leaving. She sees Minwoo, so she hides, and she just jumps into a car, the first car she sees, which is crazy. That's not me. That is not something I would do. I'm too scared to even talk to a stranger, let alone jump in a random person's car just because I'm embarrassed. If I'm embarrassed, I'm running away to a safe place, not just hopping in any car that I see. And in the car that she hopped into happened to be Tamu's car, of course, because that's how romance tropes usually go. They have quote unquote unplanned or random sporadic meetings. I just thought that was crazy. Okay, we're at the part. Also, hello, hi, it's a new day. How are you? Anyway, we're at the part where Hadi's shoe flies off and hits him in the face, and he starts chasing her through the hallways. First of all, when Tamu is chasing Hadi through the hallways, and then Secretary Cha is also running after them, and he stops. He's like, "Oh, everybody's going to see, honey." Everybody already saw. They've ran past at least 30 employees at this point. Everybody knows. Everybody saw. But anyway, what I was going to say is Hadi is going through all this trouble to hide herself from him at work. But the thing she really needs to ask herself, the question you really need to ask is, would he even really recognize you as Young-seo, quote unquote, the girl that he's trying to marry? Would he, I'm sorry, I burped. Would he even recognize her? Because he sees her, even though she tries to hide, he's seen her face quite a few times. So not one of those times has he ever shown any suspicion or pegged her as fake Young-seo. So would he have even recognized you at work versus you as Young-seo? Did you even need to go through all that trouble of hiding yourself? I don't think so, because he saw a video of her, he saw her employee ID picture, and nothing. He wouldn't have known. Watching this back really made me think about that. All the trouble that she went through was really for no reason, because I feel like he wouldn't have recognized her anyway. All right, we're further in the episode when Hadi's mom walks in on Hadi scolding Young-seo because she didn't tell her that they were actually meeting Tamu, and it's just further solidifying my I really don't like her mom stance. I really don't like the way her mom treated her in the beginning of the show stance, and I really did not like her in the first half of the show stance. She keeps saying, "Who did you get this temper from? Who did you get this attitude from? Bitch, do you really not know? You hit her and yell at her when you don't even know the full story, and then ask her where she gets her temper from." Come on now. And had the nerves to be like, I wish I had a daughter like Young-seo. Go fuck yourself, man. Why are you treating your daughter like that? You don't even know what the fuck happened. You just immediately came in and took Young-seo's side. You don't know what she did. She could have killed somebody, and you would have still took her side over your own daughters. It's just sad, man. And yes, she redeemed herself later in the show, but she really just pissed me off in the first half, her mom. I really did not like her at all. Okay, I'm at a few minutes later when Tamu sees a TV show, and it's conveniently about an Archaeopteryx, which is what Hadi, aka Fake Young-seo, would called him, and he just can't let go of it, and it's very funny. But he only gets away with it because he's Tamu. Fictional men get away with a lot because they're not real. If a man in real life was doing the things that Tamu did to Hadi in this show, I would hate that man. I would be like, fuck you, bro. He gets away with it because he's Tamu, because he's An Hyo-seo. He gets a pass. And also, right after he sees the TV show about the Archaeopteryx, he calls her, and Hadi just answers the phone without even looking at who it is and almost slips up. Who does that? Who just answers their phone without looking at who it is first? I could never, bro. And also, one thing I wanted to point out, one thing I love in K-dramas is when it's hard to explain with words, but it's like when there's a scene and they do like sudden like random cuts in the scene with every sentence is a cut, and it's like a montage of like somebody being angry or whatever, and they just did it in this scene, and you probably don't understand what I mean, but it's so funny. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things about K-dramas. But anyway, yeah. Look at who's calling before you answer. I don't care if you're half asleep or not, especially when you're running a long con for your best friend. You need to be a little more cautious than that, hottie. Actually, it's not even for Youngso anymore. It's for the sake of her fucking job. You think you'd be more cautious. Okay, I just finished episode 2 when Taemu was still trying to convince Gumi, aka Hottie, to be in a contract relationship with him, and she ends up pushing him on accident and tries to catch him, and they fall together, and they have their certified K-drama moment of falling in slow motion. They just so happen to land perfectly on top of each other where their lips are perfectly touching each other. It's such a classic just K-drama moment where it's over dramatized and all that stuff, but the fact that they land perfectly where their lips touched is the funniest thing ever. It's so fucking funny because it's so unrealistic that it's hilarious, and I eat it up every time. I love K-dramas so much. This was my start. This is what introduced me to the cheesy dramaticness, and I fell in love with it and kept watching. Okay, it's a new day again. Episode 3. We just got past the iconic yellow umbrella scene. If you know, you know. Well, I guess if you don't know, it's so much to explain. If you're listening to this, even though you don't know the show, thank you. Because that means you just wanted to hear me speak, and I appreciate that. But if you don't, if you want context, the yellow umbrella scene is basically when Hadi was pretending to be Gumhee, and Taemu forced her into a contract for them to pretend to be a couple so he wouldn't have to keep going on dates that his grandfather set up. They made up this fake backstory. Gumhee, aka Hari. It feels so weird saying it like that. It feels so American and gross. Hadi made up this whole backstory about how they met in New York, and it's like the scene starts out in black and white, and she's in a yellow raincoat, and everything else is in black and white. But when her and Taemu bump into each other, his umbrella turns yellow, and then everything gains its color. It's, to me, that's cinema. You know? It's so iconic. But anyway, I forgot what my point even was. I just wanted to point out how iconic that scene is. And also, Secretary Cha is just the biggest green flag there ever was. Like, he's too perfect. Like, even when Taemu was still being cold to her, Sungkoon was still nice to her and gave her compliments. He is just the biggest green flag ever. Taemu is a green flag too, but it took him a while to get there. He wasn't a green flag at first, you know, but especially both of them giving her a ride home at night because they know that they shouldn't let a woman walk home alone at night. Just the green flag from both of them. And I love Cha Sung-kun. I just wanted to put that out there. We're at the scene where Young So puts her foot down with her dad and moves out on her own. Obviously, I hate that man. Young So's dad is a terrible piece of shit person and a terrible father. It's just so funny the way when she rejected going on another blind date, he was like, you can only do the things you want to do. No, because you can only do the things I want you to do, and you can't do anything you want to do because I still think I have control over my grown ass daughter. It doesn't matter if she's living with you or not. It's her. She's grown and it's her life. You don't have control over shit. Like I said, I still don't understand rich people's obsession with arranged marriages. You want her to marry someone she doesn't love just to build your empire. You only think about you even when it comes to your own daughter. She's not even a daughter to you. She's just like your pawn. She's like another thing you can use, and it's awful. And I'm so glad that spoiler alert, she ends up cutting contact with him later on in the show. Okay, we're at the scene where his grandfather has a cat face mask on, first of all, and that's just very amusing. But Taemu finally watched the K-drama that's within the K-drama. I think it's called Be Strong Goo-hee. And his grandfather even mentioned, oh, your future wife has the same name as the character on the show, Shin Gumi. And that raised no red flags for him at all. Word for word, bar for bar, the same name as a TV show character, and it raised no red flags for you that this bitch might not be who she says she is. But anyway, And then he sees a shockingly similar scene to what happened to him, where they fell on top of each other and their lips were conveniently touching. And that also raised no red flags for you. Like, this show was scarily similar to my own life. Like, I just don't get it. I'm sorry for calling her a bitch. That was unwarranted. I don't usually do that. I was just so heated in the moment. And the fact that Sung-hoon and Young-so end up living in the exact same apartment complex. Not only the exact same apartment complex, but right next to each other. Like, I know this is so common in romance tropes where they just happen to run into each other and it's like, oh, that's a sign that it's meant to be, but I eat that shit up every single time. Every single time without fail, man. I love it so much. That invisible string goes crazy. We're at the scene where his grandfather meets Gum-hee, quote unquote, for the first time, and it really hurt to watch. It was going so well up until she mentioned the rain. If you don't know, if you've never watched the show, Taemu's parents were killed in a car accident in the rain, and it was raining. And he's hated the rain ever since then, but she didn't know that. He only told her that he hates the rain, and that's it. He didn't tell her why. So since it was a pertinent fact, she decided to bring it up to try to prove that she knew him, but she didn't know that she was triggering trauma for him. And it was hard to watch. Like, it was going so well up to that point. But anyway, what I wanted to say was his grandfather was like, Taemu knows nothing except for work, and that's not going to change in the near future. And it just made me laugh because fast forward like 5 episodes later, and this man is drawing Hadi's name with hearts on it on a presentation he's supposed to be reviewing like he's in high school. Like, oh, that will change. That will change. Alexa, play So High School by Taylor Swift. You know what? They did some crazy ass foreshadowing. We're at the scene where his grandfather and Hadi, aka Gumi, is at the steam bum place, and her purse fell on the ground and all her stuff fell out, including her ID, which she quickly noticed and snatched it up. But that's crazy foreshadowing because, spoiler alert, that's how Taemu finds out that she is Hadi instead of Gumi, because she leaves her wallet with her ID in his car, and that's how he finds out that she's actually Hadi. So that's crazy foreshadowing. I also don't know why I keep saying spoiler alert before I say stuff that happened in the show. Obviously, that doesn't even need to be said. This whole thing is a spoiler. But watching the show is different than actually listening to me talk about it. So you should still watch it if you haven't seen it. You know, I never realized how much gay representation was in this show. Because we're at the part where they're at the concert, the Mellow Man's concert, and there's in the row behind Gumi and Taemu, there's 2 girls holding hands. I'm like, that's so cute and so progressive of them for being in South Korea. And then the whole like gay joke between running gay joke between Taemu and Sung-hoon, but which in another universe I could get behind. But Hadi and Taemu are just too good together. And him and Sung-hoon and Young-so are too good together too. But also, assumingly, actually, I'll come back to that later. But what I wanted to say was, in the scene, a couple scenes before this, Young-so ran out of her apartment because she was scared of a cockroach and ran into Sung-hoon, and that's how they found out they lived next to each other. And she asked him to come and help kill it. It was under a cup. This man took the spray, and this is something I didn't even catch when I first watched the first few times I watched the show. He started spraying around the outside of the cup, and it transitions from day to night, and the can is empty. This man spent at least 3 hours straight just spraying outside around the cup instead of just admitting that he was scared of the damn bug. That is actually insane. And I never noticed that until now. I never clocked the transition from day to night until now. And that is truly insane. And I just wanted to mention it. Look, I don't even remember, because this podcast is about an hour long, unedited now, and it's been days. So I don't even remember if I brought this up. But the fact that Minwoo bought tickets and told her, take somebody else. I don't want to go with you. Take somebody else. That's, first of all, that's fucked up and it's crazy. Second of all, had the nerve to write a note that the band that they're going to see, Mellow Man, that the band read on stage and exposed us. Wrote a note like, my friend is here, I bought these for her birthday, I hope she has a boyfriend, and she went to see with her boyfriend. Go fuck yourself, man. But anyway, and they get a spotlight on her and Taemu, and she like denies it, but Taemu doesn't say anything. Like, that is just so crazy. It's like, I hope she comes here with her boyfriend, but I don't want to be there with her. I don't want to be her boyfriend. This man is cruel, and he's unintentionally cruel, which is worse. But also, he wished that she would get that she would go there with her boyfriend, and his wish came true because Taemu did end up being her boyfriend. So take that, bitch. He did end up dating her, and you got jealous as hell. But we'll get to that a few episodes later. I have a lot to say on that. I'm gonna get heated towards the end of this podcast because I have so much to say on that part of the show. But I just wanted to bring that up. I hate Minwoo's ass. I hate Minwoo and his goddamn ex-girlfriend. Fuck both of them. We just got done with the scene where Mellow Mance sung the song that Minwoo dedicated to her. And we found out in a flashback that Hottie actually is the one that introduced that song to him. Like, do you understand how romantic that gesture is? But no, we're just friends, and I'm back with my ex-girlfriend. What the fuck, man? What is wrong with men, bro? How are you unintentionally romantic? Like, do you do this and not realize how romantic this shit is? And yet you continue to friend zone her. And it's the song that she introduced you to when y'all were in college. And she cried, and it made me tear up, especially the first time I watched it. But it honestly kind of still makes me tear up because I feel so hard for her. And I unfortunately relate to that feeling of unrequited love, requited, whichever it is. So I just felt so hard for her, and that scene is very hard for me to get through. But it's cute that Taemu just hands her a handkerchief to wipe her face with without even saying anything. Just a wordless kind gesture. That was very cute. But I feel so bad for her, and I feel so hard. I feel what she's feeling so hard. I feel so much empathy. And it makes me hate Minwoo's ass even more. Now I'm sitting here in shock because I forgot that in one scene when they were at a tteokbokki stand, Hottie gets fucking just absolutely, I don't even know the word. She gets hit smack dab in the fucking eyeball by a baseball that flew at her face. And I'm like, how the fuck did her eyeball not explode? Like, it hit her open eyeball. Right dead on. Like, she's lucky that she could still see out that eye. That was crazy. And I completely forgot that happened. Because like I said, I usually only watch the second half when I rewatch it. Because let me explain why, in case anybody's confused. I love the romance genre, but I hate when it takes so long for the characters to get together. And when I rewatch like something romance related, I always just skip straight to when the characters get together so that I can save myself going through that pain and frustration again. So when I rewatch the show, I usually start at episode 8. I think that's the episode they get together. So rewatching the whole thing all the way through is like I'm watching a new show because I forgot all the shit that happened in the first half. But yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. I'm glad she's okay, but how is that eyeball still functional? That's insane. Okay, now that she has a fucking big ass bruise on her eye, now it absolutely makes the most sense why she would hide from him, because he would recognize her in an instant. He would clock her ass in an instant. So now it makes the most sense why she's hiding from him at work, of course. I didn't give context, but this is just off the tail end of what I was saying before. Oh my gosh, brother. Oh my god, man. So much just happened. So we get to the scene where Hottie and Minwoo are having dinner at his restaurant. And this man has the nerve to be like, I never got an update on the concert. Yoora, his girlfriend, by the way, his ex who he got back together with, was wondering too. Tell that bitch to mind her business. That's none of her fucking business. Calling Yoora a bitch is warranted because of the shit she did. Just wait if you don't know what she did. Just fucking wait, man. But anyway, this man proceeds to tease her. Like, I bet you went with Young, so I bet you didn't go with the guy. Go fuck yourself. Heidi comes back with, actually, I did go with a man. This man's life ended. She hit him back with, I did go with a guy. This man, his smile dropped so fast. This man's smile dropped so quickly. Like, what do you mean, bro? And you, this is your friend. You hear that she went to, you wanted, that's what you wanted. You literally wrote a note. You told her to her face when you handed her the tickets, take a guy with you. You give Mellow Mans a note to read on stage. I hope you brought a guy with you. You actually get face to face with her after the concert, and you're teasing her like, I bet you brought a young so and not a guy. Actually, and she's like, actually, I did bring a guy. You're devastated. So did you want her to bring a guy or not, dude? Are you keeping her in the friend zone? Why are you keeping her in the friend zone? Because you obviously feel more for this woman and you're denying it for whatever fucking reason. You're a grown-ass man. Come on now. She did exactly what you wanted and you're mad. She brought a guy with her and you're mad, bro. What do you think that means? And then he has the nerve to be like, you didn't tell me you were seeing someone. Bitch! You didn't tell her that you got back with your crazy ass ex-girlfriend. Did you tell her that you got back with your ex? No. She don't owe you that goddamn information. Just like, to play devil's advocate, you didn't owe her that information. So she doesn't owe you that information, dude. It'd be like, what's he like? None of your fucking business, man. Because you put me in the friend zone, so that's what you are. You're a friend. You have no say in my love life. And it's gonna be like, you're so naive when it comes to men. I need to meet him I need to approve of him and meet him and make sure he's good or whatever the fuck he's at. Bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Bro, shut up. I am just so infuriated because I forgot this conversation happened. I am so infuriated right now. I hate this man with every inch, with every bone in my body. I hate him. I'm only a hater when it's warranted. I am a Minwoo and Yoora hater, bro. He is Drake and I am Kendrick Lamar, man. I hate this man, bro. Oh my gosh. And then after he said that, like, you need to bring him around sometime so I can meet him, blah blah blah, Hottie devastates his ass like, you shouldn't worry about me, worry about your goddamn girlfriend. That's damn right, Hottie, put him in his goddamn place. I'm your friend, bitch. You've made that very clear over the years. Don't worry about who I'm dating. Focus on your goddamn girlfriend who you get back together with. Out of nowhere, on a whim. I love her. I love Hottie so much. And I hate Minwoo so much. That just got me so upset, bro. So upset because he's such a fucking hypocrite. And we're gonna probably go even harder on his ass later on, so stay tuned. Oh shit, I forgot about this part where Taemu, we're still at the restaurant. Taemu and Sunghoon shows up and Hottie obviously runs out the fucking door once she sees him. Taemu and Sunghoon sit down and Minwoo calls her, and the playback song is Love Maybe, the song that he dedicated to her at the concert. And Taemu is fathoming. I forgot about this. He is finally fucking fathoming something. He's finally putting the puzzle pieces together. I say the word fathoming so often, and it's because of Chats and Reacts. I never used to say the word fathoming at all until I watched them. But he's fathoming. Now he knows that Minwoo is probably the girl that Gumi has a crush on. So if he finds out that, and he already knows Hottie and Minwoo are close, so he's getting there. The association is getting closer and closer. So if he finds out that Gumi is Hottie, then all of it will click. And I think he's about to in like 1 or 2 episodes. I don't remember which episode he finds out in. Maybe it's the next one. It's either the end of this episode or the next one. Also, I said playback song. I don't think that's the right term. It's like ring something. Like the song that plays when you're calling somebody and waiting for them to pick up. I forgot what the term is, but it's something. But you get it. It's so crazy. Taemu has all the pieces. He's just missing one. He's missing one important piece to put it all together. He knows for sure because Sunghoon told him that Hadi likes Minwoo. He knows that Gumi is in a very similar situation, but he doesn't know that it's the same people. It's just so crazy to watch it unfold. Also, Minwoo just revealed that they're 27 because they met when they were 20. It's been 7 years. They're 27. This man is pushing 30. This man is pushing 30 and still stringing women along. This man is pushing 30 and still can't admit his fucking feelings. Come on now. It's ring back, y'all. Adds a combined ring and then playback. It's ring back tone. I knew it was something back. I know now because he said it. Because Taemu brought it up to Gumi, aka Hadi, when he was calling her to ask about dinner for their 1 year anniversary, their fake 1 year anniversary. It's a ring back tone. I knew it was something back. I'm glad I know what it actually is because I would have been thinking about it all night. Not only am I being affirmed in my hate Minwoo campaign, I'm also being affirmed in my hate Hadi's mom in the first half campaign because we just got past a scene where Hadi's mom and dad were bickering because they were watching that spin-off K-drama that's inside the K-drama, and her mom brought up this other dude from their past that she had a crush on her, and now that man owns a business and is successful. And she was complaining how I could have been with a successful man, but instead I'm with you, whatever. She was probably just teasing him or joking. But you know what? Fuck you for even bringing that up. And then Hadi's dad all sad. I was like, oh, if only I had hidden my love for you, then you wouldn't be living like this. And he walked away, and then she got mad at him for getting mad. Like, girl, why would you even bring that shit up? If you actually loved that man, you wouldn't care how y'all were living. And you obviously brought that up because you feel some type of way about it, whether you were joking or not. And then proceeds to say, where's Hadi? She's probably with Youngso, acting all pitiful. Meanwhile, Hadi's on her 1 year anniversary date, quote unquote, with Taemu as Gumi. No, your daughter is actually playing a long con on a rich man so she could get money for you, since you seem to care about it so much. And she's doing this for you and for your family. And you give her such a hard time for what? I'm just really not fucking with her. I know at some point she makes a switch up, but for right now, it's not a vibe. I don't like her. We're at the end of their fake 1 year anniversary dates where the fireworks start. And it was honestly very cute. If only there wasn't a lie involved, because it was very cute. Even though she's dressed and has the name of somebody else, she's acting completely like herself. Whatever. Long story short, the date was very cute. But what I wanted to point out was that when she trips and her shoe falls off, Taemu gets down on one. This man gets down on one knee to give her her shoe back. To put her shoe back on. But at the end of the show, when he actually proposes to her for real, he doesn't. He just stands there. He gets down on one knee to put her shoe back on, but when he actually proposes to her, he doesn't. I just thought that was so funny. But it's also very cool. I like that contrast. I don't know what it is about it, but I like it. Also, I'm just now remembering that he definitely does find out that she's been lying at the end of this episode, so all of it's going to be immediately ruined. Just as he was finally starting to realize and accept his feelings for her, he's about to find out that she's been lying to him this whole time. Brutal. Oh my gosh, another thing just happened that I forgot about. At the end of the fake date, he takes her home, and Hadi is like jokingly like, I had so much fun on our fake anniversary date, and he says back, I also had fun on our anniversary date. He intentionally left out the word fake, and the girl was flabbergasted. And so was I, honestly. Like I said, it's like I'm watching this show for the first time all over again. Well, now that the jig is up and he knows we gotta go, I have to sit through. This is the part that I hate sitting through the most, of Taemu being fake mad at her. Cause okay, fine, yes, he has every right to be mad at her, because she lied to him. She was faking all this stuff. He has every right to be mad, but he's not actually mad. You know what I mean? But it's not actually, he's not mad at her. He just wants to kiss her. He wants to make out with this woman, man. And he's mad that she lied to her, because he was, not only was he developing feelings for Gumi, he's also developing feelings for Hottie separately, which I'll get to in a second, which I will get to in a few minutes. That's a whole nother thing that I want to address. So you are having feelings for both of these women, and then you realize that these two women are the same woman, so now you're confused and upset. I understand that. But bitch, just admit you want to eventually. Yes, he does admit that he just wants to make out with her, but I need you to admit it. I need you to admit it quicker. You do not get that angry at somebody if it's not born out of passion. You want to kiss her, man. He puts her through the ringer at work. If he had no feelings for her at all, he would not have gone through all of this shit of putting her through hell at work and stringing her along, pretending that he still doesn't know all this stuff. He wouldn't have gone through it if he didn't have feelings for her, for Gumhee and for Hottie, both of them. Anyway, like I said, there is something I wanted to say about him already having feelings for Hottie before he even knew that she was Gumi and all that stuff. We will get to that. New day again. Hi. We're on episode 5. We're at the part where Taemu rips into her at work after he finds out, this is post him finding out that she's Gumi. And so now, instead of confronting her on the spot and communicating like an adult, he's decided to pretend he doesn't know and torment her at work for no reason. Which, look, I get it. She lied. She was going along with this fake thing. She made you fall in love with her even though you were already in love with her, which we're gonna get to. You have every right to be mad, but don't you think that this torment and torture is a little too much? Like, they had coffee or something right before this scene, when she was dressed as Gumi, and he tried to get her to confess and she didn't, so he didn't say anything. Right then and there, you should have just confronted her. And no, instead you decided to be petty back. You can't fight fire with fire. 2 wrongs don't make a right. I don't think the torturing her at work was necessary. I think he's being a little too harsh. And again, it's because he's in love with her and he's not ready to come to terms with that, so he's turned it into anger. But this is a little too much now, Taemu. You don't need to do all of that. Oh my gosh. Okay. We just got to the scene. It was a whole montage of, basically, he's making her redo the ravioli, which is a project she was working on that he liked at first, but because of this whole fake dating thing and impersonating somebody, pretending to be somebody else thing, he's making her redo it over and over again to get back at her, which is stupid. But we just went through this whole montage, and we just finally got to one of my favorite scenes of the show, when Hottie finally gets fed up with his shit and confronts him in the hallway, and it's so good because she doesn't even care about Hottie her face anymore. She just completely loses it on him and gets it all up in his face, yells at this man, and he is flabbergasted. The way he was, I don't even know what the term is. He was so taken aback, and also probably kind of got even more attracted to her. After that threw him off so bad he couldn't even walk away correctly. My brother in Christ, just admit that you want to kiss her. As the show goes on, I keep remembering the scenes right before they happen, like the scene in the lunch when Taemu and Secretary Cha and Chairman are there, and Taemu sees Hottie walk in with Minwoo, and he has the most terrifying death glare you have ever seen in your life. This man did not take his eyes off of them the whole time, from the moment they walked in to the moment they walked out. Brother, you're jealous. You're jealous as fuck, and you still won't admit that you like her. I don't get it. Also, I love Sung-Koon, but he has zero poker face. He has no poker face whatsoever. Every time Hottie is mentioned or Gumi is mentioned, this man is choking on his drink. I need you to pull it together, my dude. Sung-Koon, you will always be famous. I cannot stay mad at that man because he just defended Hottie. And I was like, thank fucking God, a voice of reason. I forgot. He forced her into fake dating him so he didn't have to go on blind dates threatened a lawsuit and probably millions of dollars or hundred thousands of dollars penalty fee if she didn't go along with his plan. And yet he's mad at her for going along with his plan. Like, no, that she don't deserve that. I know she did bad things, but she doesn't deserve all the shit that you're doing to her right now. I love you, Sung-hoon. Taemu. This man was really ridiculous in the first half of the show, man. He's arguing with Sung-hoon in his apartment about Hadi's moral stance or whatever. And Sung-hoon was like, well, Hadi doesn't really have any issues at work. She's good at her job. And he was like, good at her job. Then proceeds to say she employed someone that she had a crush on for 7 years. Dude, that has nothing to do with her work ethic. So you're saying she is good at her job. You're just mad at her because she has a crush on somebody else and she brought him around you. You're just jealous. Like I said, like I keep saying. Then proceeds to say, no one has ever made me this angry before. Baby, that's passion. Anger that intense is born out of passion. You can't tame your passion for her. You can tell that I've been listening to Extra L too much because I just quoted a lyric from it. As crazy and cruel as this whole mega hit award setup to trap her is, I gotta commend him. It is genius as much as it is crazy. If crazy equals genius, damn. I can't go a second without quoting the song. He's like doing every single thing to make sure that both her as Shingumi and her as Shin Hadi has to attend. And I do not support it or back it. I do not condone it, but it is kind of impressive the way he set this up. And I don't understand how she's not at all suspicious how is she not tipped off that he might know about the whole Shinhari Shingumi thing, because he just suddenly flipped on her at work out of nowhere. You should probably be a little suspicious, like, wait, maybe he knows about this whole con I'm playing. Dear reader, if it feels like a trap, you're already in one. Taylor Swift, there's a Taylor Swift song and line for everything. Oh my God, I forgot about the scene where she fell asleep while the ravioli was cooking and Taemu and Sung-hoon are there. Sung-hoon wakes her up and she checks the ravioli and is burnt, and she burns herself, and Taemu instinctively reaches out to try and comfort her, but then he remembers and he immediately retracts her hand. I love that shit. I know that's such a cliche, like, enemies to lovers type trope thing, but I love it so much. I forgot about those scenes. Admit that you care about her, man. And then later at night when he's alone, he was going on about the lying thing again. Like, why couldn't she just tell the truth and beg me to forgive her? Which is crazy, first of all. That's a crazy mindset. Then right after that, he says, but how could she be so careless? You don't know if you want to be mad at her about lying or if you want to be worried about her because you're in love with her. Like, dude, just drop the act, man. All right, we're at the scene where, first of all, this man, Hadi called him drunk, and the phone abruptly hanged up, and this man rushed through the streets in the dark, ran through the streets at night to find her, and still want to admit that he has feelings for her. But anyway, she's drunk, and somehow she thinks it's a dream because there's no way you would come running to take care of me, which is also a very common trope in these types of things. But she confesses to him because she thinks it's a dream, and she also apologizes. And also she's fucking wasted, so she keeps like resting her head on his shoulder, and he just doesn't know what to do with himself because he's feeling things. I think he's fathoming, even though he should have fathomed way earlier. I think he's finally fathoming, not fathoming. He's finally accepting that he likes her. But you got your apology. You got your he did all of this tormenting and torture at work because he wanted a confession. He wanted her to apologize. She confessed and she apologized. Even if it was drunk, she did it. You got what you wanted. Was it worth it? No. And I think he realized that in that moment. And he also realized, oh my God, I like this girl. Probably. But he's definitely still going to deny it for at least like another half an episode. I don't remember when it shifts. But one of the most iconic scenes of the show too. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the show, I hope I'm explaining these things enough for you to have enough context. And now after he's fired Gumi, aka Hottie, after he got what he wanted, the confession and the apology, he fired her. And Hottie's first instinct was to be sad. Let me point that out. Yes, she does celebrate. And she has every right to, because now she can stop lying to everybody. But her first instinct was to be sad. And I want to point that out. She was sad at first. Then Taemu goes on a business trip all of a sudden. Out of nowhere, he goes on a business trip. Why? Why do you think that is? Why do you think you suddenly have to leave the country? Sir, riddle me that. And he says to Sung-hoon, I forgive her because I forgive her because I realized that I was spending so much time on something so insignificant. If you were spending so much time on it, I don't think it was insignificant. I meant, if you spent so much time on it, was it really insignificant? No, to you it was not. I was wrong. He admits that he likes her at the end of this episode. It doesn't go on for that long, so I was wrong. Because he keeps seeing her everywhere, which I love this part of the show. I see your profile and your smile on unsuspecting waiters. I just had to get that in. Another Taylor Swift quote. Okay, one more thing that I'll stop. In the montage of him seeing her profile and her smile on unsuspecting waiters, he sees the memory of them at the Han River and seeing the fireworks on a TV because he's thinking about it so much. And it made me think of the Taylor Swift lyric from This Is Me Trying. You're a flashback on the film reel on the one screen in my town. That's it. I'll stop with the Taylor Swift references. Yeah, but we just got our answer. Her and Young So are having dinner with their parents, and they're scrolling through pictures of the ceremony because Hottie got to attend it finally as herself because she didn't have to worry about the Gumi thing anymore. And Taemu wasn't there. That's why he went on that business trip. That's why he went on that business trip all of a sudden. Because if he attended the award ceremony, he would have had to see Hottie, and he didn't want to see her. But he ended up seeing her everywhere because he can't stop thinking about her because he likes her. I rest my case. I just wanted to quickly address the absolute creep of a neighbor that gave Young So that lamp with the camera in it. Like, oh my god, that disgusts me so much. And I know women have definitely gone through that in real life, and it's so terrifying. And I'm so glad that he was caught. It's unfortunate that she didn't catch it sooner, because he unfortunately got a lot of video of her before she found it. But thank God that lamp fell over. And I just wanted to address it. I want to make sure I'm not brushing past it and not only focusing on the romance drama and stuff. Fuck that man. I hope he rots in prison and in hell when he inevitably goes there. And I know it's so common for like the love interest swoops in and saves the day, but thank God Sung-hoon just happened to be there and took his ass down. Fuck that man. The fact that he literally changed his whole identity to look like Sung-hoon. Ew. Oh, that just creeps me out so much, bro. And it sucks that that's what women have to go through. Oh yeah, I forgot. They aren't gonna arrest him. At most he'll get a fine because the law fucking sucks and does not protect women at all. Great. But I forgot that Taemu takes it into his own hands because Hottie was also in the videos. So he takes that shit into his own hands and tears into that man, and I love it. I love him for that. It makes up for all the other shit he did to her after he found out she was faking it. Oh, to have a rich boyfriend. I would give anything. Never mind again. He is gonna go to jail because he tried to destroy the evidence. So it's not for what he should be going to jail for, but he's going to jail nonetheless. And I love that Taemu threatened to buy his company out just to fire him. Oh, it's so satisfying seeing two men respect women, first of all, have empathy for women, and get revenge for women. I fucking love that. All right, we've made it to the scene. We made it, y'all. We made it to the scene where he finally admits that he likes her. And of course, Secretary, this is what I was building up to when I kept saying he's always liked her. Let's get real for a second. Let's get real for a fucking second. It's time to be real. Secretary Cha was like, how could you like her? You don't even really know her. She's been pretending this whole time. And he comes back with a valid point that other than the fake backstory and the disguise, that she's just been herself. That's very true. But also, Taemu has liked this woman, Hottie, Not her as Gumi, not her as Youngso. He has liked Hadi this whole time. This man has been obsessed with her since he ever first knew she existed. Okay? This man had a crush on her already as Hadi. And why are we not addressing that? He had her ID picture up on his little like projector thing for way too long, just staring at her picture for no reason. His face always lights up whenever she was mentioned. Whenever the name Shin Hadi was mentioned at work, his face would light up. Whenever he saw her, like when he was watching that behind the scenes video, he saw her, his face lit up. This man has liked her ever since he knew she existed. Take out the fake disguise, take out the Jin Yun-so and Shin Gumi shit. He has always liked Shin Hadi. He had a crush on her already as herself. And he was getting to know her, yes, in a lying sort of way, because she was wearing a disguise, but he was getting to know her as a person because after he found out that she wasn't Youngso and she pretended to be Gumi, she wasn't lying about herself anymore. She was just being herself, and he fell in love with that. And since he was already in love with Hadi the employee, plus the personality of Shin Gumi, which is her personality, boom. He likes her. That's what I've been building up to this entire time. He has always liked her. As an employee and president, he has always had a little crush on her. I rest my fucking case, Your Honor. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But Sung-Hoon is very right that it is way too soon to spring that on her. She just found out that you knew this whole time it was tormenting her at work. She just got off the back end of having to lie for that long. And now you want to tell her out of nowhere, hey, I actually like you. This is not the time, Taemu. It's not the fucking time. You need to save it. You need to give it time. And again, in the fake dream scenario where he tells her, in the best case scenario, dream scenario, where he tells her he likes her, he got down on one knee for a necklace. At the end of the show, when he actually proposed to her, he did not. Like, it's so funny. I don't get it, but also it's something about it that I like. I'm sorry, it's so hilarious. He's sitting here just continuously trying to tell her how he feels, and she just keeps like apologizing, and it's just so funny. He's trying to tell her he likes her, and she handed him a resignation letter. That's insane. And is now about to give him a whole presentation. He deserved for it to go wrong because it was definitely not the time for him to tell her that. Look, not to be thirsty on May, but him and Taemu and Sung-Hoon playing tennis. Challengers who, you know? This is my challengers before it even existed. If you want to talk about bitches I hate, Yoora, and Minwoo's ex that he got back together with all of a sudden, fuck that woman, bro. Oh my god, I hate that bitch so much. I do not call women bitches, but she deserves it, okay? She fucking deserves it. I hate her so much. I hate her more than I hate Minwoo, but I hate both of them. The only reason she got back with him is because she knew Hadi was still around him and Hadi still had feelings for him, so she was trying to intercept again like she did the first time. How mentally deranged and what is going through her brain? How fucked up does your mindset and mentality have to be to do the shit that she did? We'll get to it later on in the show when she confesses, but fuck her. Oh my god, bro. Some people just need to be punched in the face, and she is one of them. I forgot she said that shit. All of their friends were talking around the table, and they said something about Hadi having a boyfriend, and she gonna say something. Of course Hadi doesn't have a boyfriend. Your standards are too high. You should lower them. Bitch. Oh my god, bro. I hate her. Not only did you purposefully steal Minwoo away from her. Yes, purposefully. because she admitted it. Spoiler alert, later on in the show, she admitted that. But she also decides to put her down in front of a group of people for her own enjoyment. You, not only can you not have Minwoo, you can't have any man because I fucking hate you. And I don't want you to be happy. And I'm jealous and insecure. Oh my God. Oh, I want to throw something across the room. I can't believe she had the nerve to say that. Oh, and also you had the nerve to tell her to lower her standards because they're too high. Apparently your standards aren't too high either, seeing as you got back with a man who doesn't even give you the time of day whenever you're together. Maybe she doesn't need to lower her standards. You need to raise yours and go to therapy, bitch. Damn, like this man doesn't even spare her a glance when they're together, and she somehow thinks she's better than Hottie. No, I'm so fucking fed up already, and this is one of the first scenes she's in. I am so not looking forward to it. Also, her too high standards landed her a rich boyfriend that actually likes her. So, it makes eye contact with her for more than half a second. So go cry about it. We're at the end of episode 6 where they take a business trip to Sokcho for no reason. Only because Taemu wants to spend time with her. That's the only reason. And they were driving on the way back to Seoul and it started raining. And because of his trauma, the accident that his parents got into that killed them, he freaked out and then kicked her out the car and drove away. What I'm sitting here thinking is it justified? And I'm kind of leaning towards no. I understand it's traumatic. I understand it's devastating how you lost your parent. You got triggered. But I don't feel like that excuses leaving a woman stranded in the middle of nowhere in the rain at night without her belongings. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody agrees with me. I didn't really even think about this until recording this podcast. I was just sitting here really stewing in it. I don't think that was the right thing to do. And I just commended him earlier for getting revenge for the women. And now he turns around and abandons a woman alone at night. You don't do that. And I'm sorry, but I don't think his trauma excuses that. Why didn't you both get out the car? Why didn't you stop somewhere like a restaurant or something and just stay in there until the rain stopped? I think that was a big fuck up on his part. And I don't think his trauma makes it right. Maybe that's a hot take, but I feel like it's not. Okay, we just finished episode 6 and this podcast is about to break 2 hours unedited. So we're going to have a lot to do when we edit this. It's going to be a long ride. I hope you're here for it. Because each episode if you didn't know, each episode of the show is an hour long. 1 full hour long. I love that, first of all. But that means that I'm going to have a lot of commentary. And so this is going to run very long. So I hope you're in for it. But anyway, we reached the part where Hottie makes it to the hotel. Taemu somehow finds her and pretends to be her rich boyfriend. I just wanted to mention her friends saw her alone. Yoora, friends quote unquote, because Yoora is there and Yoora is not her fucking friend. But her friends find her, Yoora, and the lesbians, the alleged lesbians. It's not confirmed, but I feel it in my bones that they're together. Let's go, lesbians, let's go. Yoora and the lesbians find her and they're like, what are you doing here? Where's your boyfriend? And like, since we met like this, they're there because Minwoo just conveniently happened to switch locations for his filming to where they are. Surprise, surprise. But they're like, let us see your rich boyfriend. And Yura's like jumping in with this mean girl motive. Like, let us see him, because I bet you she thought that it wasn't real and she was making it up. And to be fair, yes, she was making it up. But for you to just assume that it's fake and be like, let us see him, because you know it's fake, you can go fuck yourself. But anyway, she has this like knowing smile, like, let us see him because I know he's fake. Then Taemu calls her babe and walks up to her, and the look on her face is delicious. Oh my gosh. You need to watch the show to see the look on her face when Taemu walks up to her and introduces himself as her boyfriend. So fucking satisfying. Bitch was jealous as fuck. And I love it. I loved it. All right, y'all, it's a new day, and we're back again on episode 7 when they're having dinner with their friends. Taemu is playing the part as her boyfriend, which is not hard for him because that's what he wants to be. And seeing the jealous, disgusted, angry, frustrated looks on Yura's face is so fucking satisfying. Oh my gosh. She's such a weirdo, bro. She's in this secret competition with Hadi, but you technically won, right? You're obviously insecure of her. So, and you saw Minwoo as a thing to take away from her. So you took him, you're dating him, you won. You technically won, yet you're still a jealous, ooh, it's so many words I want to use. Yet you're still bitter and jealous and just a weirdo around her. You won, yet you're still in competition, this one-sided competition with her. You want to be better than her. You have this hierarchy over her. You want to be better than her. So you thought that taking the dude she liked made you better than her. But now you see her with this new rich, hot boyfriend. And you're jealous because now she's doing better than you. She can't be doing better than me. You can't have it. You can't have things going better for you. Is basically her mindset. Like, she's trying to take her down a peg at every corner. But Hadi won. She got the rich hot boyfriend. She won. You lost. You're back with your ex that you don't even really like. And he don't even really like you either. Like, you're trying to be better than her, but you're just not. And you're a weirdo and you need therapy. Most of the characters in this drama need therapy. Minwoo definitely needs therapy. Hadi probably needs therapy. Taemu definitely needs therapy. Because he has a lot of shit to work through. Then later on when they're back in the hotel room, she has her little stereotypical villain monologue. Why does she have to be dating such a perfect guy? That's so annoying. Everything she does gets on my nerves. Yeah, because you're a loser. And you're weird. I cannot emphasize that enough. You're a weirdo, man. You and your boyfriend. Alright, so Minwoo finds out about the relationship, which is not real yet. And this man is obviously jealous. Which, bro, make it make sense, bro. I don't want to date you personally. But you also can't date anybody else because I'm gonna be jealous. You can't date anybody else, but I'm not gonna date you. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't understand men, man. Okay, not all men, alright, but definitely some of them. Definitely him. Oh my god, I forgot. And this pissed me off so bad, bro. The night after Sunghoon and Youngso hooks up, she freaks out and is mad for some reason, and she leaves and then proceeds to ignore him for like however many days. What the fuck, man? You wanted this so bad. You've been pining after this man ever since you first saw him. You finally get him. You finally get right where you want to be. Your dream spot. And you blow it up. Because why? Because you're embarrassed? Come on now. Be adults and communicate. Okay, first of all, those two girls are definitely dating. They are definitely lesbian. And I love that they just never address it. They never address it, say anything about them dating, or we don't get any backstory about their life. You just see the subtle clues that these two women are together, and I love that. Let's go lesbians. Because you don't have to address it because it's normal. And then me we got the gall. Hadi's boyfriend. Yeah, he don't know it's fake. But to him, that's her boyfriend. Boyfriend says, we should go. And this man got the gall to be like, no, Hadi, you should stay in front of his girlfriend and her boyfriend. Dude, and you got the nerve to claim that you don't like her. I really don't understand this man's mindset. It makes no sense and it's so frustrating. Like, you're just openly pining for this girl in front of your girlfriend and her boyfriend. But no, you're just friends with her. You don't want to date her. And he proceeds to go, there's no need for you to leave too. Bitch, you're pathetic. That's not your business. That's their relationship. If she want to leave with him, she can leave with him. She's a grown-ass woman, and that's her boyfriend. I hate this couple. The worst couple to ever exist. I love just the shots of both of them, both of the couple, Yoora and Minwoo, being jealous as fuck for different reasons. It's so good. They just jealous and angry and bitter in every single shot when Hottie and Taemu are together. Minwoo is jealous and mad that Hottie is dating Taemu. Yoora is mad that he's jealous, but she's also jealous of her relationship and of Hottie. It's just a whole fucking mess. They're a whole mess. And I hate them to my core. My blood is boiling so bad. So I remembered the boat conversation where Minwoo just has to stop Taemu and confront him for no fucking reason. But I didn't remember exactly what he said, and now I've seen it again, and I remember, and I'm angry as fuck. This man is he's trying to act so tough, but the words you're saying are so pathetic. You're pathetic, man. Kong Taemu, I have one thing to ask you. Why did it have to be Hottie of all people? Like, bitch, get out of here. Like, out of all people, why did it have to be the girl that I friend zoned, but I still like and I don't want her to date other men? Why did you have to date her? She's single and grown and can make her own decisions. Why did you have to date her? What is wrong? Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself, bro? I can't. And then the part I forgot about the most was him being like, oh, the difference in status, blah, blah, blah. Why would you want to date a mere employee? Why are you dating someone who doesn't come from a rich family? Basically, so what you're saying is wait, okay, hold on. I'm angry and I'm trying to think while also being upset. You're supposed to be Hottie's friend, and yet you see her as this low-level, low-status person because she doesn't come from a rich family, because she's not doing as well as Taemu and you honestly are. And Taemu calls it out. So she's like, Taemu literally gagged him because he was like, do you only date people that are on your level? And he had nothing to say to that. This man, he's friends with Hottie, supposedly. He has a crush on Hottie, obviously, that he's denying, but he also does not see her as an equal. He sees her as lower status to him. He sees her as less than him, and then proceeds to say, I'm just worried about Hottie. No, the fuck you're not. You're arrogant and snobby and jealous. You're not worried about Hottie. Yeah, he says, to put it bluntly, you could date any woman you want, right? He could date any woman you want, but he chose your friend. You should like that. You should be happy for them. But you're not. It's you can date any woman you want. Then why are you dating my poor, broke friend that I secretly have a crush on? Like, what is this mindset of having a crush on somebody and liking somebody, but also seeing them in such a negative light? Seeing them as lesser than you. What is wrong with this man, bro? I hate him. Ugh. It's like, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's like, since Minwoo is a famous chef and he owns his own restaurant, he's probably very well off. So he sees this low level from a working class family, poor girl, and is like, kind of like wants to have control, some kind of control over her. He's like, I'm not gonna date you. I'm gonna keep you in the friend zone, but I'm gonna berate and question and press you on any guy you date. And I don't want you to date anybody, but I want you to be single, and I want to have you as an option, but I'm not gonna choose you. You know, it's so strange and weird the way he sees her. Like, what is your mindset, my guy? You need therapy. Another character that needs therapy. And you're also doing all of this behind Hottie's back without her knowing. So you're not a good friend. And yeah, I was about to say his full name. I don't have to. Taemu says it like, oh, so you're saying that I keep wanting to say their full names. So you're just saying that Hottie is not good enough to date me. And he doesn't deny it. He just deflects and says, I'm just worried about her. You didn't deny it. Then Taemu comes with you only date people who are on your level, and he's gagged. Nothing to say after that. What a disgusting man. And to add on to what I was saying earlier, the whole, I'm not going to date you, but I don't want you to date other people. I want you to stay single so I can keep you as an option and make you think I want to date you, but actually you're not good enough for me, so I'll never choose you. I want to keep you as an option, but I'll never choose you because you're not good enough for me. I have never hated a TV character more than I hate Minwoo and his insecure ass girlfriend. Okay, Youngso just told Hottie that she ran out of someone's place because she couldn't remember any of it because she was drunk one day, slept together. So what? That's still not a valid reason, whether you forgot or was embarrassed about it or whatever. Still not a valid reason to run out of that. Just be honest with him. So fucking frustrating, man. I love romance so much, but it's so the shows and writing are so frustrating sometimes. And then she proceeds to tell Hottie that she didn't. Hottie is like, you should just tell him the truth. Thank you. Voice of reason. Then she proceeds to say, I can't tell him the truth because blah blah blah. It'll hurt his pride. Girl, what's hurting his pride is you ignoring and deliberately avoiding him in public. That's what's hurting his pride. You telling him the truth is not gonna hurt him. Communicate. Not to be thirsty on Maine again, but I'll make sure you never forget. Yeah, it might have been corny, but it's my kind of corny, you know. And the removal of the glasses when they started making out. Oh my gosh, Sunghoon. Cha Sunghoon, the man that you are. I remember this scene going viral on Twitter too. And I was like, business proposal, you will always be famous. Hottie came into work. I think it's like the second day after the confession. And Tamu didn't really look at her. And she was like at her desk like, why is he avoiding me? Girl, Hottie, I love you. You know why he's avoiding you. He told you he liked you. And he told you he would give you some time. But he didn't really mean it. And you should know that. And it's been a full 24 hours and you haven't said shit to him. Of course he's gonna avoid you. You haven't given him the answer that he wants yet. Then she's like her inner monologue is like, why are you so disappointed when you're gonna reject him? Girl, you know why. You can't stop thinking about this man, and yet you're gonna reject his confession. You know you like him, and I understand why. This is the only rejection where I'm like, I understand why she rejected him. The dynamic is weird. Things at work would be weird. I get it. At first, I get initially being scared and rejecting it at first. But come on now. None of that matters when it comes to love. I think I just indirectly referenced King the Land, which is a very similar premise to this show. And a lot of people were hating on that show because it's so similar to Business Proposal, but I like it. I'm sorry, I just don't have a hating bone in my body. I like that show. I love Sarang and Juan. Is that his name? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm sorry if it's not. But yeah, one of her friends said that once they found out that that the boss and her were dating, one of her friends was like, she was like, what, are you guys worried about me or something? And they were like, no, we're not worried about any of that because love comes before all of that. And I'm like, that's so true. That's so true. Not love comes before. Love is above all of that. I meant, like what I said. That's the line I was referencing. You know what? I just clocked that. So we're at the part where Hottie has to step in for Miss Kim, who was supposed to do a promotional video with Minwoo, of course, because romance shows. She has to step in for Miss Kim because she got high as a kite on calming pills. They hadn't seen each other since they went on the boat. And he asked her, is she feeling better? And she's like, yeah, that was such a long time ago. And I never really thought about that, but that means that he never even reached out to her to ask if she was it's been a week since that happened, and he never once reached out to see if she was okay up until that point where he saw her in person and he had to do it. That is so, you're supposed to be her friend. You were acting so concerned. You just like, let me take her. I need to take her to the hospital. I need to be the hero. I need to be better than you know. But in reality, you didn't really care. It was radio silence after the fact. You did not check in on her to see if she was okay for a whole week. I never really clocked that to now, and it makes me hate him more. It only adds fuel to the flame. I just said I don't have a hating bone in my body. I do when it's warranted. And this man deserves prison, but he won't get time. He is truly the smallest man who ever lived, man. And so after people think that she cut herself, but actually she just spilled sauce on her sleeve, and she went to the bathroom and she was like, well, why is President Kong here? Does he want to hear my answer? Girl, of course he does. You've been avoiding him for a week straight. And also, if you made up your mind so easily to reject him, why does it take you so long to do it? You have his phone number. You could have rejected him at any time. Why is it taking you so long? Why is it so hard for you to do? Come on now. Let's use those critical thinking skills. So now we're at the part where she rejects him very hesitantly. She couldn't even say the words herself. He had to outright ask her, are you rejecting me? And she only nodded. She couldn't even verbally say it, first of all. And then second of all, when he asked for the reason, which I just wanted to say, for real life context, if you get rejected, don't ask why. You don't have to ask why. A no is a no. But back to the fictional context, he asks why, and she's like, what will your grandfather think? What will other people think? Then he's like, well, what do you think? I don't care what they think. She's like, I think the same. I think it's not going to work out. Then he asks, so you don't have any feelings for me? She says nothing in response. So it's not the fact that it's not the fact that you don't have feelings for him, because you obviously do. You have feelings for him. You're just scared that it's not going to work out and it's going to blow up in your faces, and that that the outside opinions are going to ruin it. Understandable. But you like him. You need to admit it to yourself. And also, so what? People started talking, putting us through our paces. But I'm sure he knows places that you can hide. Okay, I'm making too many Taylor Swift references. It's just I can't not do it. It's ingrained in my blood, in my DNA. He knows places. I never realized how But Daddy I Love Him coded this all is. I also forgot that she's the one who initiated the kiss. That's crazy. And he got the nerve to turn around and say that it was a mistake. No, girl, you deliberately kissed that man. And I don't blame you, but it's for a reason. And you need to stop denying it. We're at episode 8, y'all. I just noticed. It's the confession episode. It's the episode where they get together. It's crazy that she rejects him in the same episode that they get together at the end. But it is an hour long. So a lot of shit happens in between. Oh my god. New day again. Hello. We cut off early yesterday because we started later than usual. But we're back and it's earlier, so we should be here longer. Oh my gosh. We just got to the scene where Minwoo was doing this photo shoot for whatever, and Yoora was there with him. And I just have so much to say about it. I'm really evaluating the show and catching things that I didn't really catch the first few watches of the show now. This whole scene is just, bro. First of all, Minwoo can't even smile properly. The photographer was like, can you please smile casually? And then Yoora comes up to him, and Youra's like, oh, he's probably just stressed. Give us a second. She goes over and starts like adjusting his hair for him, and he hates that shit. He hates it so much. Stone face turns to her, what are you doing? Yoora is still an awful person, but the way Minwoo treats her, it makes sense why she turned into that villain. Yes, she was already an awful person at first for even dating him with the wrong intentions in the first place, but the way he treats her, terrible and toxic. She's like, any other boyfriend would like it. Why are you complaining? He's like, I'm just stressed about work. No, you're not, bitch. You're stressed about your friend, quote unquote, dating somebody else. That's what's on your mind, and you're mad about it. The photographer asks him about that promotional video that him and Hottie did where everybody thought that she cut herself, but she actually just spilled sauce on her sleeve. He asks him about the video and about Hottie and whether that moment was scripted or not. And the way this man's face immediately lit up when he started talking about Hottie. The way this man was stone-faced when his own girlfriend was touching him. When somebody mentions Hottie and it's time to talk about Hottie, his mood completely shifts. Why do you think that is, dude? And Yoora is rightfully, I don't like her, but she's rightfully annoyed by that. That is actually insane. He's quick to defend Hottie, like, no, it wasn't scripted. Says she's really innocent. Ew. A man should never describe a woman as innocent. That is a red fucking flag, and it's disgusting. Ew. She's really innocent, you know. Ugh. I hate it. It gives me the ick so bad, especially with him talking about Hottie like that. And again, I think it proves the point of there's a power dynamic, and he thinks he can have control over her and what she does. Ew, I hate it. I forgot that he called her innocent. It's awful. It's awful. I hope the things I'm saying are coming across right and making sense, because I don't know if any of that just made sense, but you get why that's icky, right? It's a power dynamic. I'm telling you, he has some sort of like power trip over Hottie, and it's awful. We're at the scene with the chairman, the grandfather, having lunch with his other old man friends, and I just wanted to call out one of the old men. They were talking about how him and Shingumi broke up, and how it was probably because he was being a nosy grandfather. They were teasing him. And then one of the dudes was like, if you actually want Tamu to get married, then don't do anything at all. Boom. Voice of reason from an old man. And then he got mad at him because he's right. You're only mad because he's right. Don't do anything at all. I also wanted to talk about the whole payback for the kiss thing. Long story short, after the kiss, it's not even really nothing to explain. After the kiss, Tamu wanted to make her quote unquote pay back for the kiss, but it's just been an excuse to take her out on dates. And I don't know how she doesn't see that, especially after the carnival. First of all, the whole carnival montage was so cute. The cutest thing ever. But how do you not see that this man is tricking you into going on dates with him? Like, he wanted you to pay for his meal, quote unquote, and it ended up paying the bill afterwards instead. And then the next time he was like, I'll buy your time instead. Come on, girl. He's taking you out on dates and you're enjoying it. She's pretending like she's not. She was like mumbling to herself like, oh, how annoying. But she was low-key smirking into her hand. You know you enjoying this. These are dates and you're having a blast. You like this man. Admit it. We're at Young Sung-woo's first argument when he made her go on a hike. They're talking about after Kang Tae-moo found out that Hadi was Gumi and he tormented her at work. And she was like, wasn't that a power trip? Which, yes, it kind of was. And then Sung-woo proceeds to say he had a right to be angry because he was fooled. Yes, he had a right to be angry, but he did not have a right to do that in response. You're entitled to your own emotions. Your emotions are valid, but the way you act on them still can make you a bad person. He should not have done that. And I don't understand why he's taking his side on that. Because the boys will be boys. Oh my God. I've been sitting here anticipating this part, and I didn't expect to get angry because I knew it was coming. But oh my God. So, Chef Minwoo, this man, is at the restaurant helping because Hadi's parents both got hurt. Before we get to that, I want to talk about how cute the parallel is between Sung-hoon carrying Young-so on her back. After she hurt her ankle, Sung-hoon carried her on his back with his backpack back down the hiking trail. And then we learn that Hadi's dad carried her mom all the way to the hospital on his back, mind you, while he had acute appendicitis. And she only had a burn on her arm. Crazy, but very cute parallel. Her parents are very cute. Okay. So, because they're at the hospital, Minwoo was there helping Hadi's brother run the chicken shop. This man drops a glass. He gets a little cut on his finger. Boo fucking who. Hadi's brother tells him there's band-aids in Hadi's room, which is already kind of strange. Why is there no band-aids in the communal space? And why are they only in Hadi's room? But anyway, he goes into Hadi's room and not only gets the band-aid, but snoops around in her personal shit, invades her fucking privacy, and finds the contract that they made back when she was still Gumi and Tae-moo was forcing her into the contract because he was mad about the trick. Whatever. All you had to do was go in her room and get the band-aid and leave. No, you chose to invade her fucking privacy because you're a weirdo. None of that was your fucking business, dude. And got the nerve to be all angry like, so they weren't actually in a relationship. Well, they're about to be in approximately 15 minutes, bitch. How about that? Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe next episode. I thought episode 8 was the episode where they got together. I'm pretty sure it is. But it's only 20 minutes. Whatever. Can you believe this man invading her privacy? That shit makes my blood boil every single time I watch this show without fail. What is wrong with Minwoo Lee? I hate him. And then the writers got the nerve to make Minwoo punch Tae-moo. No, knowing it should have been the other way around. Minwoo needs to be punched. Is the one that needs to be fucking punched, bro. I am so mad. And you punched him for something that happened weeks, if not months ago, bitch. You're like 3 seasons behind. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. So why was your first instinct to go up and punch somebody? I am so mad that Hottie stopped him from getting his lick back. And Hottie fucked up big time. Hottie fucked up big time by leading Minwoo away. By leaving with Minwoo instead of Taemu. And being mad at Taemu. When she should be mad at Minwoo for just coming up and punching him out of nowhere. Girl, come on. That's what I meant to say. She fucked up by being mad at Taemu instead of Minwoo, who threw the first punch. He was about to defend himself and you got mad at him? No, girl. That was a big screw up on her part. And she does acknowledge it later on, but still. So this man talks shit about Taemu to Hottie's face and then talks shit about Hottie to Taemu's face. Seriously? He needs to have a sit down with a therapist. I'm so serious. I'm gonna give Hottie some credit. I shouldn't have been so hard on her because she does tell him off after they walk off together and sit down. Puts him in his place. And she's like, I know you only did it because you're worried. I know you only got this out of my room because you were worried about me as a friend. That doesn't fucking matter. He still invaded your privacy to get that information. And he's not worried about you as a friend. He's worried about you as a weird, possessive crush control over you freak. It's like, do you actually like him? So what if I did? Bitch. None of your fucking business. None, you have no place to say shit. You got a girlfriend you don't even like. Worry about her. And then he got the nerve to say, you know well that it won't work out between you two. Shut the fuck up. You're just jealous and hurt and bitter. So you said that out of spite. I'm not taking no relationship advice from yo ass. Men will do everything but go to therapy. I swear to God. They will exhaust every other option. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here still stewing over it. It makes no sense. You know damn well it won't work out between you two. So don't date him. Forget him. Break up with him so that I can not date you. Break up with him so I can keep you as an option and not actually date you. Ever. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, first, yes, this is the episode where she confesses. I just forget that they pack so much into like 20 minutes of the show. It's so much shit happens within the hour. This is not the main thing I wanted to say, but quickly, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the icon. I'm forgetting her name. Youngso's cousin. Iconic, hilarious ass character. I love her. She's everything. Yeah, she's kind of annoying, but she's everything to me. I'm trying to make sure I get her name right. Yu Jung. Okay. Icon. Love her. But she's the girl that why am I losing my words? She's the girl that Taemu's grandfather is setting her up with on a blind date. And he claims it's because he thinks that they will be a good match, which is laughable. They could not be more different. But he doesn't think that. He only thinks that because Yu Jung's mom came up and persuaded him to force them to be together. That's the only reason he's making him go on a blind date. Because of her. And her sneaking in and influencing his decision. But the main thing I was going to say is about the volleyball match. I just think it's so funny. Hottie ended up hurting her wrist. It's a company volleyball match. Hottie ended up hurting her wrist. And right after she did, they announced that the prize for winning the volleyball match is it's dodgeball, not volleyball. I don't know where I got that from. Dodgeball. The prize for winning the dodgeball match is a one-on-one dinner with President Kong, with Kong Taemu. And she's shell-shocked. And then they go to the bathroom and Hyeji is helping her like tend to her wrist, and she hears the girls talking about Taemu and awing over him. It's like, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna be the VIP. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this girl becomes a pro dodgeball player. Her jealousy kicks in and she becomes an elite Olympic gold medal dodgeball player. I know dodgeball is probably not an Olympic sport, but it's a joke. It's just so funny. Sis locked in. She locked the fuck in, and it's so funny. I love it. I love how dramatized this whole part is. It's so good. Also, why does Gibbon know all the tea? This 40-something-year-old man has all of the tea. He knows everything. Every little detail of what President Kong is doing is a little suspicious. Like where's President Kong? He knows exactly where he is. It's so funny. Okay, we're at the confession scene and I just kind of teared up. I forgot how beautifully edited and shot it is. It's so good. It's one of my favorite confession scenes in media ever. Literally the part that made me tear up, it's my favorite part. I've always liked this part every time I watch it. As she's on the phone confessing, pouring her heart out, you only see a shot of the rearview mirror, and you can only see the top half of Taemu's face. But as she's talking, you can just tell by his eyes that he's smiling as she's talking. Oh my god, it's so cute. You don't even need to see his mouth to know that he was smiling as he listened to her talk. It's so good. It's shot so well. Whoever's the director, give them an award, man. They deserve it for this scene alone. Oh my god, I just teared up. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. I love them so much. One of my favorite K-drama couples of all time. And instead of him being at the hotel at the blind date, he was in front of her house the whole time. My heart cannot take this. I love this show too much. Oh my god, and I forgot. When they finally get to each other and meet on the bridge and finally kiss, Hadi is he has tears in her eyes the whole time. And when they finally kiss, you can see, you gotta look very closely, but you can see a tear roll down her eye. Oh my gosh, it's so sweet. After a couple of shots, it goes away. But in that first shot, a tear clearly rolls down her eye. I can't be crazy for noticing this. Rolls down her face, rolls down her eye. Also, just want to shout out the animations. I love it, especially when Hadi's phone rings and she opens it. And first of all, the Samsung flip phone product placement, crazy. But when she flips her phone open, when her phone is ringing and she flips it open, Archaeopteryx, is that how you pronounce it? Because that's what she called her. That's what she called him. I'm making it lesbian. Freudian slip. That's what she calls him on one of their first few dates. She says he looks like an Archaeopteryx. And so ever since then, whenever he would call her, and she looked to see who it is, and Archaeopteryx would come out on her phone. It's so cute. And when after she confesses and they finally get together, from that point on, when she opens her phone, is an Archaeopteryx with a heart on top of it. It's so cute. The animations are so cute, man. Also, we're about to break 3 hours unedited, and we're only on episode 9. There's 3 episodes left. This podcast might get to 4 hours unedited, depending on how much more commentary I'm gonna have. And plus, I said the last half is probably gonna have the most for me to say, so this is gonna be a long ass edit. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it. I also love the little detail that Taemu usually, before he fell for Hadi, he usually has his hair especially one half of his hair slicked back. But after he started to fall for Hadi and then they eventually got together, he just fully wears his hair loose and curly and natural. It's like a metaphor, it's symbolism. Before he fell in love with Hadi, he was all tight and restricted and strict. And when he finally fell in love with her and they got together, he finally let loose. Look, I know the bar is in hell. I understand that. I know that a man cooking is the bare fucking minimum, okay? But Kang Taemu cooking, hear me out. I did not need to say hear me out for An Hyo Sup. Come on now. Come on, Kaylin. Hadi, I understand. That's all I'm gonna say. If a man cooked for me on the first date, I would unfortunately fold too. Even though it's the bare minimum. Unfortunately, I would fold like paper. Especially if he was hot and rich. That whole date sequence, that whole brunch date sequence, honestly. Most times, most days, I'm okay with being single. I'm content with it. It's shit like this. It's a shame that I had to love the romance genre because it's shit like this that makes me sad. because I'm like, I am lonely as fuck. I'm so jealous of them. They're so cute. That whole date was so cute. From when he called her in the morning all the way up until she kissed his cheek and told him it was the most wonderful morning of her life and ran away. Oh my God. This is why this is still my favorite K-drama of all time. And this is why they're still my favorite K-drama couple of all time. It's just too good. They're too good together. It's too perfect. I love it. Two things. First of all, when they come to work after their date and Secretary Cha comes up to Taemoo and is like, the video that Hottie and Minwoo did was a big hit, and because she said that we don't use artificial colorings, our sales increased by 20%, blah blah blah. And he was like, really? He was giving like a poker face, which I thought that at first, that he was like giving a poker face because he didn't want Secretary Cha to know that they were dating, because he was like, you didn't tell me who you were dating, being very petty and childish. But then I thought about it, I was like, he's probably not interested because she filmed that video with Minwoo and he's jealous. He was super duper jealous. So he probably said really and gave such a nonchalant answer because he doesn't give a fuck about that video because she did it with the man that she used to have a crush on. That could also be a possibility. Second thing, I take back when I said in alternate universe, Secretary Cha and Kang Taemoo would have been together, because they're just so brother coded. They're so sibling coded that I can't imagine. It was a funny, I love the jokes about it, but I just could not imagine them together. I take it back. They're brothers through and through. We just got to the scene I was talking about earlier in the podcast when he was drawing her name on a presentation with hearts around it like a high schooler. It's just still so funny to me. He's literally like a high school kid with a crush. It's so cute. Rest in peace, President Kang Taemoo of Gofu. You would have loved So High School by Taylor Swift. No, he did not die. I was just using the meme to get to the second half. I mean, technically, he no longer exists since the show is over. So it kind of makes sense. I hate when women apologize for reacting normally to weird ass behavior. Hottie and Minwoo haven't talked to each other in like a week, rightfully so, because he's weird as fuck. But they run into each other at the GoFu building in the hallway. He apologizes, which he should. I overstepped my boundaries because I was so worried about you. Not a fucking excuse. Then she says it's okay, which is not. And then she says that she overreacted. No, girl. You had a valid response to weird, invasive ass behavior. You did not overreact in the slightest, and you should not have apologized to his ass. And it has the nerve to say, I overreacted. You must have been surprised about information that wasn't his business. It was not his business to know about that fucking contract. He's like, you must have been surprised too by the information that you rummaged through my shit to get. Why are you apologizing to him? Why? Oh my gosh, everything about this man just makes me angrier. Oh my god. He wouldn't have even known if he didn't invade your privacy to go get a Band-Aid. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this scene when Sungkook's coming home from the business trip and Yoo-jung is there drunk and is like, why won't you like me? Even though he clearly stated that he's not interested, he has a girlfriend, whatever. And he's reiterating that, he's re-explaining that to her, and she just screams in his face. She just screams in response. It's the funniest shit. You need to watch it. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. It's funnier when you see it. I love her so much. I forgot how funny this show is. I really did. He's like I told you many times before, I have a girlfriend, and she's just like, ah! He literally just screams in his face. It's priceless. Okay, I just thought of a great joke, but it needs to be in the context of the show, so you won't hear it till later. But just know it's fire. To me, it is. But we're at the scene. If you are a fan of K-dramas, even if you haven't seen Business Proposal, you know the scene of Yoo-jung and Young-so in the car together, and she's venting to him about her boyfriend, but Youngso doesn't know that yet. And it's just so funny that she's giving her this advice like, the Yoojung I know wouldn't give up until they liked you back, but you don't know that you were encouraging her to go after your boyfriend persistently, which is crazy and funny. But yeah, it's the iconic "you know I have no chingu" line, which means friend in Korean. That's Yoojung's like running thing in the show, is that she mixes English and Korean. It's so good. I love her character so much. She has some flaws, but I love her. She's just too iconic. And unfortunately, I can relate to that line. Unfortunately, same. And it's just a shame because in a different universe, Yoojung and Youngso would have been great friends if only they weren't pining after the same guy and weren't work enemies and family enemies, as seeming like. It's such a shame because from the car scene, they would have made such good friends. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo scenario where they'll hug at the Grammys a few years later. Maybe they'll hug at the Grammys a few years later. What's the lyrics from Skin? Maybe someday we'll laugh about this and something. Yeah, that's them. They're the Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo of Business Proposal of K-dramas. The whole Minwoo Yoora scene in this episode is just hard to sit through for many reasons. The fact that I hate them being one of many. As the lines were going on, I had things that I want to say, but I've forgotten all of them now that it's over. Oh yeah, Yoora was like, my parents want to see you. I think they're worried because we keep breaking up and getting back together. Why do you think that is? And then she's gonna say, I also think it's about time we get married. Girl, can we be real? It's time to be real again. Second reminder of the night. You only want to marry that man for not good reasons. Neither of y'all actually really like each other. This is a broken fucking relationship and y'all are just staying in it. Why? Y'all are staying in this. Why? There is nothing good about this relationship. He doesn't want to see your parents. He's brushing you off for work. I don't like you, Yoora, but you need to stand up. You still in this secret competition with Hottie, but technically you won. So what are you still fighting for? Why are you still with him? Why are you still around? Go off somewhere, set yourself free, and live your life and go to therapy because you need it. You don't even actually like him. You were just with him to spite Hari from the beginning. And you're trying to keep the relationship alive for what? It's dead. Still alive, killing time at the cemetery, never quite buried. You trying to take it the extra step and marry him. Hottie does not care anymore. You're not getting a one-up on her anymore because has somebody else. She's moved on. She's with somebody else and she's happy. You lost, girl. If it's actually a competition and not the one-sided thing that's in your mind, you lost. You're stuck with the weirdo that doesn't give a fuck about you. Also, it's so unfortunate that his grandfather and Hottie's two biggest run-ins, it's both unfortunate and hilarious that their two biggest run-ins where they butt heads the most was when he had to take a shit. He had to have such negative interactions with her, knowing that she's dating his son and they already have to go through this whole I was actually Shingumi confession, plus she has to get on his good side from all of the shit that happened at work, not only at work but personally with the whole blind date shit. It's just all unfortunate. That's the only word I can use. It's devastating, it's unfortunate, it's sad. Okay, so I take back what I said way earlier in the podcast. It's not just rich people and blind dates. It's apparently regular people too. Are blind dates just a really popular thing in Korea and I just didn't know that? Because I feel like they're not that popular in Western culture, especially not in America. I know they happen in America, but I don't think they're as popular and talked about as they are on K-dramas, bro. And then afterwards, he's gonna say to Taemu, why'd you just let her go? Bitch, you told her to leave because you had to take a shit. You told her to leave. Secretary Cha tries to defend him and be like, it was a mistake. Just let it go. He's like, if it was a mistake or not, I hate that I keep getting mixed up with her. It's just two coincidences. You really need to let that shit go. Truly. She gave you a letter of apology. I was gonna give her a good scolding. You got your apology. Move on, dude. You too rich and old to be holding grudges this hard. And we're also at the iconic bomb shot scene with Gavin. The whole thing was just iconic with the BTS references. Some may see it as corny. I love it. Gavin is another icon of the show. This diva, he has all the gossip and he knows all the K-pop choreo. He even did the dynamite kick, which I'm like, okay, you still got it. That's crazy to do the kick from the choreo. If you know, you know. I don't even think I could execute that as well as he did it in the show. We're at the scene where all four of them, Youngso, Sunghoon, Taemoo, and Hottie, have to open the restaurant for a whole group of women, even though they were technically closed. And it's after the people leave and they're finally eating. And first of all, it gets interrupted because Hottie opens a can and it spills on Taemu's shirt, which honestly makes me mad because I really wanted to see more interaction of the four of them and it got cut short. But also I just realized that this is a parallel to earlier when Taemoo was pretending to be her boyfriend and they were with her friends and she spilled the wine on herself, but this time she spilled it on him. There's lots of parallels in this show that I never picked up on. I don't know how. So Hottie's parents come back early, unannounced. So Taemoo hides in Hottie's room and he just looks around like, oh, this is my girlfriend's room, and smiles to himself. You see how his first instinct was not to snoop through her shit like some people, because he's actually a good person with morals. I hate Minwoo so much, bro. I don't know how many times I've said that, but this won't be the last. And literally, when Hottie's dad comes in her room to get the liquor that she received as a gift for her award at work, which I'm gonna get to that in a second, but Taemoo was smart enough to go hide in her closet. And so after her dad leaves, she takes him out. They try to find a way for him to escape. There's no way for him to escape. There's no escape. Oh my gosh. At least it's a K-pop song. It's on theme. But shout out to NCT Dream. But so she tells him to go back in the closet. And before she leaves, he turns around and is like, don't rummage in there. She has trauma. My sis is traumatized from me going through her shit. And he's still... And I can't believe he thought that was a cool thing to do. I can't express my anger any more than I already have. I just hate him. But yeah, she literally tells him, don't rummage around in there, because she's traumatized from Minwoo doing it. And Taemoo literally goes, what? Because he wasn't even thinking about doing that. That wasn't even a thought in his fucking head. He goes, what? Okay. Like, he wasn't thinking about that at all. Minwoo, do better, bro. Stop being a weirdo. And also, why is Hottie's dad just walking into his grown daughter's room with no asking permission? Why couldn't Hottie just go get it herself? Why did you have to just walk? He walked into her room like it was just another room in the house. No, this belongs to a grown woman who has a right to privacy. You shouldn't just be barging into your daughter's room willy-nilly. I already hate that. But to come in her room and rummage through her shit like Minwoo, nah. That's where you lost me, dude. That's not even where he lost me. He lost me I hated him from the beginning. I hated him. I hated his ass from the beginning. Ever since he gave her those concert tickets and told her to take a guy with her, I hated him ever since then. I was like, oh no, I hate this man. Hater City, population me. Minwoo, Hater City. You know what? I would actually hate to be the child of a rich family, of a rich mom and dad, because you can't do shit in public without somebody being there to take a photo of you and then getting back to your parents. I'm referring to the scene where Sunghoon and Youngso are in the gym play fighting over the phone, and somebody is there, takes pictures and gives the pictures to her dad. And they even have pictures of back from when they first kissed, so they've been following them this whole time. And I'm just like, man, I would hate to be in their position. You can't do shit in public. You can't have a life. All right, so I forgot that this scene was also in this episode when Yoora calls Hottie for a drink and finally confesses that she only started dating Minwoo to take her away from him, to take him away from her, which I kind of knew already, and I didn't need her to confess to know that when I first watched it. Not only did she only start dating him despite Hottie, she cheated on him. I forgot about that part. She cheated on this man, and Hottie knew, but she didn't tell him. And she's like, why didn't you tell him? If you had told him, then we would have broke up and maybe you two would have been dating. Girl, please. And then Hottie claps back and I love it. She's like, I didn't tell him because it would have been too cruel because he loved you so much. But I wish I regret it. I should have told him. And I love that she said that to her face, because fuck you, girl. Like, I'm sitting here trying to put together all of the reasonings for why she acts the way she does, and none of it makes sense. Hottie told you she had a crush on him. She said she would back off if you were interested. You weren't interested. You just wanted to take him just so she couldn't have him. You got him, even though you didn't really like him. And then you came to realize that he actually likes Hottie. He's just denying it to himself. And you hated him for that, but you don't like him either. And you cheated on him. And then she's like, why are you still in Minwoo's life? Why did you have to sway him? Why? Girl, you don't even like him. Why are you worried? She's not swaying him. She's just being a friend to him, even though she shouldn't be. She's being a friend to him and just being herself around him, and he's into that. He's not into you, and you're not into him. So I don't understand what you're so upset for, and why did you get back together with this man? Why did you get back together? There's literally no reason. Y'all were toxic from the start, and now y'all were toxic till the end. Shout out to Rosette. You were in this secret competition with Hottie because you were insecure and you felt threatened by her. You technically won the one. How sad and tragic is it? How much of a loser do you have to be in a secret competition with somebody and still be losing? Because like I said earlier, you're stuck with the guy who doesn't give a fuck about you, and she has a rich, hot boyfriend that actually cares about her. She won. You lost. And now you're just coming to realize that, so now you're taking it out on her. I just don't, none of it makes sense to me. And then after Minwoo gets there, Hottie walks out and Minwoo follows her instead of going to his girlfriend, which basically sets in stone why she feels like that. And Hottie was like, why are you doing this to me and to Yoora? I understand why she acts that way now because you're doing this. She knew this already. She went into the relationship in the first place knowing that Minwoo liked Hottie, so she wanted to interfere because she didn't want Hottie to be better than her. She didn't want Hottie to have anything. She wanted to feel better than her. And she didn't. It didn't work. So she cheated. But he didn't know that. And then they broke up. And you came back. Why? Why did you come back? Did you think that you could come back and sway him even more and finally cut the last cord and take Minwoo away from Hottie? Because that was never going to happen. This man is obsessed with her and he's in denial about it. And you know this. You don't like him. You know he likes Hottie, yet you're still with him. Yet you still get angry about it. Why does this relationship exist? Why? Why is this happen? None of this shit should be happening. All of y'all need to go your separate fucking ways, which ends up happening. But oh my God, this is a whole mess. And she's like, I understand why Yoora acts that way. I don't. Yeah, her boyfriend treats her like shit and is secretly in love with his friend. Yeah, but that doesn't give her an excuse to act the way she's been acting for this whole time, to be such a terrible fucking person, to be in secret competition with this woman who it doesn't make sense, bro. And I love that Hottie is just so removed from her feelings for Minwoo, and she's just indifferent at this point, which is the worst you could be. Love and hate are on two sides of the same coin, but indifference is a different thing. She is completely indifferent to both of their ass, and it's apparent, and I love it, because she leaves and immediately calls her boyfriend, and I love that. She doesn't give a fuck anymore, and She deserves it. She deserves Taemu. She deserves to be away from both of these toxic ass people. Yes, they need to break up, but also they deserve each other. So get married if you want to. Honestly, they do break up if you didn't know at some point, but honestly, y'all deserve each other because y'all are both terrible in different ways. Another one of my top 5 favorite scenes of this show is when they go on Hottie and Taemu go on a date after work, and they're talking about what food they're gonna eat, and it starts raining, and of course Taemu's triggered because of his trauma, but Hottie immediately unravels an umbrella and puts it up above them, and it's the same yellow umbrella that Taemu was holding in the imaginary scene where they met for the first time when she was gooey. Taemu was holding it, but now Hottie's holding it in real life. It's symbolic, like she's shielding him from his thoughts and his trauma. I love cinema. And she like immediately starts talking afterwards after she puts the umbrella up, like trying to distract him, trying to soothe him, like everything's cool, everything's normal. Shin Hottie, best girlfriend. Honestly, this whole date trilogy, from the train where he leaned forward to look at her face while she was talking, oh my god, to the flower stand, to where he says, whether you're Gumi or Hottie, you're still the prettiest woman in the world. Cheesy, yes, it got me and it got her. And then when they're at the restaurant, the whole sequence makes me feel so fucking single. It's so cute, but it makes me feel, I'm like, damn, I'm lonely. And it's too bad that it subsequently gets ruined by Taemu's grandfather finding out that they're dating. And the fact that she's making such an effort to distract him from the rain the whole time is just so fucking cute. Best couple. So yeah, after the date, Hottie lies and says she's going to see Youngso when she's actually going to see his grandfather, which I don't know how he didn't clock that lie, but it's very cool as she's walking to see his grandfather. The flowers that he got her like started to wilt away and disappeared. I just thought that was very cool and interesting imagery. But when she gets there, he does the whole please sit down Shingumi. Oh, I meant Shin Hottie. I'm sorry. Dude, we're already past this. Don't start with jokes. We know what this is about. We got that information. We're past that. But anyway, then he proceeds to ask her, he shows her the pictures of them and is like, why did you approach Taemu? Bitch, why are you assuming that the woman approached the man first? Why are you assuming that she approached him first? I get that you probably think that she's a gold digger just because she's not rich, which fuck you for that. But why can't Taemu approach her? Which is what happened. Why you just automatically assume the worst of her? I hate that shit. And not only did he assume the worst of her, he didn't even let her finish her explanation. She explained the first half, and she was like, but, and then she just cut him off. It's like, I don't need to hear more. If the relationship's not real, then just end it. You didn't let her finish, dude. You took the first half of the story and took that as truth. You didn't let her fucking finish. I forgot how much this part upsets me. It didn't even let her finish talking and get the nurse say, I don't need to hear any more of this. Apparently you do, because you don't have the full story, sir. And then they had the nerve to blame Taemu's car accident on her. What the fuck is wrong with this man, bro? If you didn't know, Taemu, after they leave, go their separate ways, Taemu, I think, we don't know who calls him, but I'm assuming it's Sunghoon, calls him and tells him, your grandfather is summoning your girlfriend to see her. And he's like, what? And hangs up, and he turns his car around to speed to where they are. And a delivery driver is coming at him, and he swerves. It was a very minor accident. And then he has the nerve to blame the accident on her. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You are such a awful person. If anything, bitch, it's your fault. You're the one who summoned his girlfriend behind his back to talk to her and confront her behind his back. He was rushing there to protect her and to stop you. So technically, if you want to put blame, it's your fault, bitch. How about that? Yes, sir. This is also top 5 scenes when Hottie's about to leave and Taemu walks up and stops her and is like, bitch, we're not in a fake relationship. It's real and I'm in love with her. I love that so much. I love romance. I will never not love the romance genre. And you're placing the blame on the woman. Taemu just made a good point to him too. You're placing all this blame on the woman when your son is the one who forced her into a contractual relationship with threat of legal action. It's mostly his fault, just like he said. So why are you being so hard on her? I really don't understand rich people. You would rather grow your empire and get richer when you're already rich and wealthy, filthy rich. You would rather have your son marry somebody he does not know than be with somebody he actually loves. What kind of twisted shit, not son, grandson, but still, what kind of twisted shit is that, bro? I understand that he's just now finding out about all of the lies and the shit that's happened, but you're immensely overreacting, dude. And Tamu was like, you liked her when you met her as Gumi. Like, I didn't know all of that was a lie. Everything about her has been a lie. No, only her outfit and her disguise, her costume was a lie. Everything else was real. And plus, you obviously saw from the pictures that they've been spending time together with her as herself. So everything has not been a lie about her to him. It's just to you, because you haven't got to know the real her yet. You're not even giving her a chance. You get the nerve to say, what if I say over my dead body? Dude, get a grip. Get a grip. You're too old to be like this, bro. Yes, I forgot about this. Hottie leave. Youngsu comes to pick Youngso comes to pick Hottie up. And it starts raining again, so she makes Youngso pull over so she can run back to Tamu and make sure he's okay, which, love that. Love them. But she runs back into the hospital, and Sung-hoon and his grandfather are standing there. She's wet from the rain. She's like, I'm sorry, but I needed to come back because it's raining and I'm worried about Tamu. This man had nothing to say after that. He would never admit it, but he even smiled a little bit when she said that. She's not as fake as you thought she was, huh? He was gagged. He had nothing to say. He just walked away. This woman actually cares about your grandson, and you still don't approve of her? Like, I don't understand. She knows him better than any of those other blind date women are ever going to know him. Whew. The scene where Hottie and Tamu have a heart-to-heart about his parents' accident still makes me tear up after like the 8th rewatch, maybe more. Never failed. It might be in my like top 5, top 10 scenes, even though it's devastating. It was such a needed conversation. You can tell how much he needed to hear what she said to him, that your parents don't resent you, because he always blamed himself for the accident. And she was like, your parents don't resent you. They probably just want you to be free from that and to be happy. Although he should still go to therapy, I think in the fictional world, that was enough for him. That was enough to set him free from that. Yeah, I just love that scene so much. And after seeing that scene, it's like, how can you look at this couple and disapprove? How can you disapprove of this couple? It's like, sometimes I tear up, sometimes I shed a tear, and sometimes I just don't. And if I don't, then it's probably because I'm distracted, so I'm not really paying attention, or I'm just too happy to cry, which is rare. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I really love that scene. Yep, knew this was coming. So we've gotten to the scene where we find out that Yoora, first of all, Youngso says Yoora made a mess of things again, which means this is not the first time she's done some shit like this, which is not fucking surprising. But we find out that Yoora is stirring up drama because she's mad and jealous that she doesn't have the upper hand anymore. This is like her last. This is like when a person who got shot and is dying shoots one last time before they die. This is exactly what it is. She basically posts this comment on the promotional video that her and Minwoo did, and is making up shit. Just making up a whole story that she put out on her. Let me go line by line because I completely forgot the whole thing. So in the comments of the video, everybody was like, oh my god, they look so cute together, because that's what people do. And she had the nerve to go in the comments and be like, yeah, they do, right? Even as his girlfriend, I think the same thing. And it's like, she's had a crush on him for 7 years and kept following him around as a friend. Girl, oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start with this woman. There are so many way harsher things I want to say that I should not. And she conveniently leaves out the part that she played, the shit that she did. Why don't you tell them how you only are with your boyfriend to spite her? how you don't even like your own boyfriend. And you probably already knew that Minwoo liked her. But you're saying, oh no, Minwoo only likes her because she was hitting on him and using work as an excuse. No, girl. She's just good at her job. It was a logical move to bring Minwoo in for the project that she was doing. You're just blinded by this hatred and jealousy and bitterness and insecurity that you can't see that. You knew she had oh my, none of this shit, none of her villainness makes sense. None of it. You knew she had a crush on him. You dated him to spite her, and now you're mad that she likes him. You knew that already, and you don't even like him. So why are you mad, bro? It literally makes no sense. I feel like I'm going crazy trying to explain this shit. And never once has Hadi ever hit on him after y'all got back together for no fucking reason. She's just around him and being herself, and he's into that. And you're mad about it because you thought you won, but you didn't. There's no competition because she already won from the start, girl. And it says what's even funnier is that her boyfriend is the president of her company. Cry more, girl. Cry harder. Type that again without crying. You're mad. You're mad that she's dating a CEO, girl. She won. Like, I keep iterating this. You had this one-sided competition in your head and you lost it. And you're mad about that. You're just trying to find any type of way to take her down. Manipulators and narcissists always love the line, like she pretends to be nice and kind and she acts like she's the victim, maybe because she is, girl. Have you took a second to think about that? You're the perpetrator and she is the victim of your shit. She's not acting like the victim, she is, and you're somehow mad about that. You are mentally fucked up, girl. You need therapy more than Tamu does, which is crazy. And what's even worse is that none of the public are just gonna take that narrative and run with it, and they'll never know the truth about her ass because Hadi's too good of a person to clap back. Hadi's not gonna do anything in retaliation because she's actually a good person. Now, me personally, I would have put her ass on blast right back. I'd be like, all this shit is a lie. Here's all the shit she did. But yeah, that just sucks that nobody is gonna know the real story. It's fucking awful. I fucking hate her. It feels wrong to hate a woman, but Yoora, I don't like her at all. I don't know if I hate her more or less than Minwoo. I think I hate her more. Actually, they're tied. They're tied right now for the biggest villain. I don't even though Yoora is technically supposed to be the villain, Minwoo was also a secret villain. And then these two old ass men are gossiping about it at work. Like, do you think it's true what she said in the comments? Like, yes, it's true. That's why she posted it. Bitch, you know absolutely nothing about social media at all. Because anytime anybody posts anything, it's definitely true. No, this is why propaganda works, and it's awful. The way people talk about women is fucking disgusting. Oh my god, I hate men. The people from the other development team gonna come in and try to gossip. And of course they don't want to the team doesn't want to gossip because they're just stewing with the information. And this man gonna say, how did she seduce him anyway? Get the fuck out of here, bro. You need to be slapped. So it's just not possible. There is no realm of possibility in your head that he liked her first. None at all. No possibility that he approached her and he pursued her. These like layers of misogyny are just disgusting. I hate men. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Top 5 scenes. Another one of them is when Gibbon steps in to defend Hadi when he hears two other employees shit talking her. I love it so much. He clocked them. He gagged them so bad. This diva. I love him so much. And the fact that the women are also participating in the misogyny, the internalized misogyny, is crazy. The fact that the women are also being like, I wonder how she seduced him. You're just jealous, dude. Say that you're jealous and go. Yeah, she only got her award because she's dating him. It makes me so upset what women have to go through, because if the roles were reversed, people would not be saying that shit. It's because she's a woman. I'm so sick of running as fast as I can, wondering if I get there quicker if I was a man. I'm sorry for quoting Taylor Swift so much. It can't be helped. That random woman had the nerve to say that Hottie wasn't even that pretty. Girl, get out of here. I hate people that people just read things and just take them at face value. Wise men once read fake news and they believed it. And then once rumors start, other rumors start spawning that are also that wasn't even a part of the original thing. Because the guy was like, apparently she's had a lot of other flings too. Which is also not only not true, but it wasn't even in the original post. It's just a continuous cycle. And also, it was very smart of her to not get angry and upset with Yoora when Yoora called her for drinks and said all that crazy ass shit to her. It was smart of Hottie to not react emotionally and yell at her. She handled it very well, but she should have read her like a book. She should have clocked her ass. She should have held a mirror up to her face and be like, you are not a good person, in a calm and collected way. I'm glad she said what she did, but she should have said more. She should have told her the truth about herself. I wish she said more. But yeah, dear reader, when you aim at the devil, make sure you don't miss. Oh my gosh, top 5 funniest scenes is when the nurse walks in on Sung-hoon helping Taemoo get his sweater on. It looks so intimate out of context, and she just smiles. And she's like, I'll come back later. Funniest shit ever. And then Taemoo whispers in his ear as a joke. Hilarious. I love men that are secure in their sexuality. I love it so much. Nah, Sung-hoon. He has the nerve to ask Taemoo, well, what are you gonna do regarding Hottie? Bitch, what do you think he's gonna do? Keep dating her. He literally just said that he loves her 2 days ago. The fuck are you on about? They gonna say the chairman is his grandfather, by the way. The chairman is firmly against it. You can't keep pushing this on him. What? I can't keep dating somebody I love? Is that what you mean? No. Nobody's pushing this on him. He just found love and he's not happy about it because she's not rich. Who gives a fuck, bro? I don't understand why Sung-hoon is quasi defending the grandfather when he's clearly in the wrong. And then Taemoo gonna say, although I feel bad for him, why? Why do you need to feel bad for him? Why do you need to feel bad for being in love with somebody? That's not normal. He needs to get over his fucking self. You have too many years of life experience to be acting like this. And Taemoo, of course, shoots back at him. Would you give up on Youngso if her father didn't approve of you? Nothing to say. Don't ask such a stupid fucking question, Sung-hoon. So Youngso and Hottie are together on a bench talking about what happened, and she reveals that Minwoo called her and she didn't answer. And Youngso's like, why didn't you answer? I would have yelled at his ass. Same. And I would be like, get that bitch Yoora on the line too. I need to tell her something. But anyway, Hottie said, actually, the more I think about it, it's my fault too. Which, of course she's gonna blame herself when it's literally not her fault. And she talked about a comment that she saw, if she had a crush on him for 7 years, yeah, she still stuck around him. Isn't she basically a stalker? No, she's just a friend. She's just a friend being a friend. And she was like, Youngso thought that too, because Youngso once said that she was obsessed with him or something, but it was probably a joke or whatever. And she was like, if my best friend thought that too, then I couldn't have even imagined what Yoora must have thought of me. Girl, stand up. Did you forget how this all started? Did you forget that she literally told you to your face that she started dating this man because she knew that you had a crush on him? She knew the price going in. She knew that you had a crush on him, and that's why she dated him. She already knew that. You're thinking about this the complete wrong way. Did that night where she confessed to you just basically erase from your memory? She's not a good person. She's gonna say, then I guess we got even. No, in no way did you deserve what that bitch bitch did to you. It's no get even with this because nothing came from your side. It was all from her. She's the one that did every bad thing about this whole interaction, love triangle shit. It's all her fault. It ain't no get even. Girl, you're a victim. And then Youngso just said, if it were me, I would have punched you in the face. Thank you. Voice of Reason Part 3. Thank you. Somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to take one for the team and do it. She needs that. I understand Hottie is a great person and wants to see it from everybody's side and wants to see it from her perspective and be forgiving. Not for this, fuck that for this situation. No. It would be, I'll see it from your side and forgive you. Number one, if she didn't date him just to spite her in the first place. If she just dated him because if you're dating Minwoo with good intentions, then sure. After the first few things she did, I could see, oh, I'm going to forgive her. We got even. But no, this is a continuous behavior that she escalated as the years went by. This is not like, she's treating this like it's a first time instance. No. This girl has always been a bad person, and you're just now seeing it because she finally confessed to it because she realized that she lost. So she's like, whatever, I'm just gonna tell you. She realized that there's no stake in this. There's no prize to win. So she's like, whatever, I'll just tell you the truth all along. Ain't no forgiveness from that. It's been a series of intentional bad choices leading up to this. Ain't no forgive and forget. Nah, I would hold this against Tough forever. Okay, my laptop's about to die, so we're gonna come back tomorrow to finish this off. We got like 20 something minutes left of this episode, and then the next episode is the last episode. So yeah, we're almost done. It feels like it was so slow at first, and now it feels like it's going back in a flash. The second half of the show is really the reason I wanted to do this podcast in the first place, because I always had so much like to say in my head, so much inner dialogue about the second half of the show, but I had no place to put it. So I decided to put it in the podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're almost done. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow you'll finally get to hear the joke that I teased a few minutes ago. Or like an hour ago. Honestly, I don't know. This podcast is already approaching 4 hours long, unedited. So that's crazy. All right, y'all. We're back for the last day. I took a day break between this, but now we're back. Right back into the second half of episode 11. And we're at the part where his grandfather is finally coming to terms with the fact that Hottie and Tame are together and is basically gonna send him away to the US. And he was like, do you think that's gonna tear us apart? Do you think that's gonna make us break up? Because obviously it's not. And he's like, I know it's not gonna break you two up. I feel like that's what you want to happen though. And then he was like, what happens if I do approve and you two date and the employees gossip about it? Then Hottie won't be able to come to work. She's just an employee. First of all, don't suddenly act like you have any sympathy or empathy for Hottie. You treated her like shit the last time you saw her. Don't suddenly act like you want her sad now. Second of all, yes, people are going to gossip about it, maybe for like a week or two, then they'll get over themselves because they're grown adults. It'll be hard for her at first, but she'll get over it, and she will, and he said that she won't be able to endure it. She'll endure it. She has the strongest work friend group I have ever seen, ever, on TV and in real life. She will be just fine. You're just making up excuses at this point. And so he was like, work at the American branch for 2 years until all this blows over. Do you really think it's going to take 2 years for people to stop talking about them being together? 2 years? You're crazy, dude. It's going to blow over in like a week or two. You are way overestimating, and you're just using this as an excuse to pry them apart so that they can break up, because that's what you want to happen. You don't think it's not going to happen, but you're hoping that it does. That's why you're doing this. It's like, if you two don't break up by the time the 2 years is over, then I'll approve. Man, go fuck yourself. I'm so serious. I never realized just obviously Minwoo Yoora hater to the day I die. But I never realized how much I kind of don't like his grandfather, too. I understand that that's his grandson. I understand that he's the only parental figure that Taemu has left after his parents died. I get being overprotective and caring, but at a certain point, it gets to be too much. Your grandson is pushing 30, dude. At some point, he has to live his own life, you know? You can't have control over everything. And then not even 24 hours later did he just show what I was talking about. He doesn't care about Hadi. He calls her into the office and tells her he's either going to send her away to a different far away office factory that has nothing to do with her job, or if she doesn't like that and doesn't want to do it, then she has to resign. You don't care about Hadi at all, dude. Like I said, you were just making up any excuse to try to get Taemu to feel guilty and break up with her, and it didn't work. So now you took off your mask and showed your true colors and went to Hadi and forced this on her. And what I really don't understand is, why are we placing the blame on who the scandal is about and not who started the rumor? Why are we not tracking down the person who made that comment on the video? Why are y'all not hacking the mainframe, getting somebody to track down Yora's ass and hitting her with a fucking lawsuit? Why are we blaming the people? He told Taemu, once Taemu finally found out and went to the office, the grandfather gonna tell Taemu she's the reason all of this is happening. No, she's not. She didn't choose for her personal life details to be out there, which is not, it's not even her personal life, because it's parts of her personal life, but it's lies. It's been inserted into lies. All of that shit, the scandal is a lie. Started by a crazy, insecure woman who the blame really needs to be placed on, and who y'all really need to be tracking down, seeing who the fuck did this. That's what you need to be worried about. Not placing the blame on the victim. Not placing the blame on the victim. Like, I really don't understand how the first instinct wasn't like, track down, go to this profile and track down who made this comment. Hit her ass with a lawsuit, ruin her life, is exactly what she deserves. I hate that Yoora just got off scot-free. She deserved to be fined at least. It's so fucking disgusting and unfair that she just got to go off and disappear and live her life after that. No, there need to be consequences, and they should have been focused on her, the person who started it, not the victims involved. This PR team, these lawyers that they have. What is really going on? Do better. Do better. You're not focused on the real issue. You're punishing a woman for being in love and for getting details about her that she did not want publicized. She's not the reason that they got publicized. Another person is, and you need to be tracking down that person. Yoora is number 1 on the hate list. Minwoo's number 2. Number 3 is his grandfather. I'm so sorry. He consistently pissed me off in this show, and I never realized how much until I did this podcast. And yeah, he did come around at the end, but it's at the tail end of the series. The last episode, the last scene, he finally comes around and redeems himself a little bit. And it's only after he goes through a major health event. It shouldn't take your life being at risk for you to realize that you're wrong. And I love that Hadi put her foot down and was like, no, bitch, I'm not resigning. And listed her achievements to his face. Love that. So we just got past the sex scene. Honestly, that whole scene from Taemu finally getting to hold to her the phone call up until the morning after, when he wakes her up in bed, just peak romance TV. I love it so much. I eat that shit up. But yeah, and we also had the scene with Young So's villain level dad. I also hate his ass. It's Yoora, Minwoo, Taemu's grandfather, and then Young So's. Actually, put Young So's dad on top in front of Taemu's grandfather. Yoora, Minwoo, Young So's dad, Taemu's grandfather. That's my hate tier ranking list. He took Young So and Sung Hoon out for dinner under the ruse and gave the impression that he was gonna approve and that he had no problem with it, only to later that night, after they part ways, call Sung Hoon in secret. But luckily Young So was there. Thank goodness she was there. Call Sung Hoon in secret and be like, break up with my daughter. You're smart enough to do it. Bye. Dude, how How much of a villain do you have to be to put on that whole act about acknowledging how awful of a fucking father you've been and improving of Sung-hoon and seeing if he can inherit your company, quote unquote? That was all bullshit, dude. You do not care about your daughter and her happiness at all. At all. You're not thinking about her whatsoever. You're not ever thinking about her. You're only thinking about yourself and what you can gain from who she dates. You don't care about her being in love. You just want her to marry a rich man, whether she likes him or not. You only see her as something you can use, and that's fucking awful. And that's exactly why her mother divorced your ass and moved to Germany. But now we're at the scene where Hottie lied to her parents to stay with Taemu, and we all know what they did. She used Youngso as her cover story, but her mom and dad were coming home as Taemu was dropping Hottie off back at home, so she got caught in the whole scene. As overdramatic as it's hilarious. Top 5 funniest scenes. It makes me laugh still. And this is like my 8th or 10th rewatch. I haven't been keeping track. It was like, sure, she still lives in your house, but she's grown. She's also pushing 30. If she wants to stay out with her boyfriend, she should be able to. It's not like she's a high school girl. Also, top 5 funniest moments. I don't know how many things I've counted as my top 5 funniest or top 5 favorites at this point. But I just love when, so it's Youngso's birthday, so all of them are gathered this time. Taemu, Hottie, the parents, the brother, all of them, the whole family are gathered to celebrate, and it was kind of very tensioning and awkward. So Youngso was like, "It's my birthday, can we loosen up?" And Sung-hoon showed the champagne that he brought that they had the last time when Hottie and Taemu were still hiding that they were together. And the mom was like, "Oh, I can't drink. I have to open the store." And the brother and Hamin, I think his name is, and Youngso were like, "Just one drink. You'll be fine." Immediate hard cut to a sign on the door of the restaurant, "Store closed for the day." Her ass got plastered off that shit. It's just so funny. So we're at the scene where Taemu just got back from meeting with Hottie's parents. He goes back home to his grandfather. She's like, "You were out seeing Miss Shin, weren't you? You're not gonna give up on her no matter how much I disapprove." Duh. Didn't you already establish that when y'all first talked at the hospital? You knew he wasn't gonna give her up. You knew that moving him across the country, that moving him across the world to the US was not going to break them up. You should have known that he was going to keep seeing her. This was already known, first of all. And Taemu tells him again, "I'm not giving up on her. I'm going to marry her. Just give up." And this man, of course, gets mad, and then he like clutches his chest and is like, "Oh, you got heart problems, so maybe you shouldn't be stressing out like so bad over shit that doesn't matter, like who your grandson chooses to marry, who your grandson chooses to love. You do not have the facilities to be stressing out about this." Oh my god, I forgot about this. Okay, so we're at the scene where after the night they spent, they're back at work the next day, and Hottie, Taemu, Sung-hoon, and Miss Yo and Mr. Gay are all in the elevator together, and Hottie and Taemu are internally screaming. You can just tell by their faces. Like, can y'all really not like get a grip? Y'all can't even look at each other or be in the same vicinity without internally freaking out. Well, I guess that's how it is when you first date somebody. It's very cute. But anyway, what I was gonna mention, Miss Yo and Mr. Gay start like whispering back and forth like they're dating right then. Why are they acting like that? And you can see Sung-hoon in the back, and he looks between, as they're whispering, he looks between Hottie and Taemu, and you can see like he puts his head down, and like Mr. Gay kind of blocks the view of him, but you can see right before he puts his head down, he cracks the slightest smile. He breaks. The actor breaks just a little bit, and you can catch it right before he puts his head down, and I just think it's the funniest shit ever. Top 5, say it with me, top 5 funniest scenes. The fact that he broke and they left that take in, they were like, "Let's do it again." They're like, "No, we're gonna keep that." And I love that they were gossiping like, why are they being so cool about it? And then immediately after, the elevator stops on their team's floor, and Taemu gets out, even though it's not his floor. Like, internally, they are fucking losing their minds and then forcing someone to get off with him so he wouldn't be as embarrassed. Man, I love this shit. You could never make me hate this show. Nah, bro. Okay, so directly after that scene is the scene where Minwoo asks to meet up again. Ugh. Immediately roll my eyes when I remember. And Minwoo says that he turned down an offer to work with GoFood again because of the scandal, and that he's closing down his restaurant and moving to Europe, which honestly is probably needed. He needs to leave, not just her life, but he needs to just go somewhere else and be somewhere else on his own, because him and Yoora broke up. Of course they did. And like he said, it should have happened ages ago. Y'all should have never got back together. Y'all should have never been together in the first place. And it has the nerve to say, Yoora asked me to tell you she's sorry. She just couldn't say it in person. Get the It's nighttime, but I really want to scream right now. When you do some shit like that, damn near ruining somebody's professional and personal life with a whole lie story that you made up. Not even that, but also for years back, from only dating Minwoo because she had a crush on him just to spite him, and the whole hierarchy insecurity thing that you had with her. You thought the best way to apologize to this woman was to play telephone through your ex-boyfriend. Yoora could not get more pathetic. What a terrible fucking person. You can't even face me to say sorry. You can't even look me in the eye and tell me that you're sorry. That means that I don't really think you are. And you have not changed. And you probably never will. You'll just keep doing this to other women that you feel threatened by over and over again. That shit pissed me off so bad. She couldn't face you in person to tell you she's sorry, but she is. No, nah, fuck that. Get that shit out of here, bro. I hate her so much. And it has the nerve to ask when he gets back from his escape to Europe, can we go back to being close friends like before? No! Do you know how much shit has changed in the last month, 2, 3 months? You're never gonna go back to how it was before. And I'm sure Hottie does not want to go back to how it was before because she was miserable. She does not. You know that she had a crush on you now because of your stupid fucking ex-girlfriend. So why do you still want to continue to be in her life when she is moving on, has a boyfriend, and obviously you still are denying that you like her back when you're saying you want to go back to being close friends, quote unquote. We know what the fuck that means. She has a boyfriend who will probably be her husband by the time you get back. No, bitch. I don't want you anywhere near me. Stay away, bro. No. We cannot go back to being close friends like we were before. You need to accept things for how they are. Take your ass to Europe and move on with your life. And don't ever do this to any other woman ever. Oh my God. This is why he's number 2 on the list. Right under his ex-girlfriend. Hate him. We can't be friends, bitch. Shout out to Ariana Grande. And Hottie says, maybe after some time when my feelings for you actually finally start to fade and we don't see each other as often, blah, blah, blah. A cop-out answer because you don't want to see him again. Let's be real. Let's be so fucking for real. You do not want him back into your life like he was before. And let's also note the fact that he's emotional, tearing up. She's not. She's almost indifferent to you, bitch, which is worse than hate. She's borderline indifferent to your ass. She does not give a fuck about you anymore, dude. And it's never been clearer. She says, when my feelings for you start to fade, but I think they're already gone. Goodbye, good riddance to both of y'all. To both of y'all. Now I can finally do the joke that two things. One, I want to do the joke that I teased I don't know, like an hour or so ago, where I said I had this joke but I can't tell it because I want to wait and do it in context. First of all, it's not that great, and second of all, it doesn't even really make sense. Not even it doesn't really. It just doesn't make sense at all. Y'all know that meme that's like, y'all broke up? Nah, he's broke or she's broke. I'm up. I was imagining it from Hottie's perspective, where she would be like, nah, they're broke. I'm up. I moved on. I got a rich boyfriend. I got a rich hot boyfriend now. I'm up. That was so anticlimactic because it wasn't even that good. I'm very sorry. But I just thought it was so stupid and I thought of it. I had to write it down so I didn't forget it. Nah, y'all are broke. Hottie's up. And she is. She really is though. Second thing, this is something I've been thinking about like probably ever since maybe the second rewatch of the show. I need somebody. If you're a K-pop fan, then you probably know the song "I Envy You" by Taeyeon. If you don't know it and you want to get into K-pop, or even if you're not into K-pop, I still highly encourage you to check it out. It's one of the best K-pop ballads ever. Top 5 K-pop ballads ever released ever. And now that's controversial, but I'm standing on it. Personally, for me, top 5 K-pop ballads to ever exist ever. It's "I Envy You," the letters, but it also sounds like "I envy you," like I'm jealous of you. It's a play on words. By Taeyeon, very famous Korean soloist. Very talented. Love her so much. I love that song so much. The song is basically about unrequited love. So you can tell why I like it so much. The lyrics are like, "So I can't love you even if I do." I'm not sure, but I think it's so I envy you because you don't have any feelings for me, so you get to go out scot-free. You get to go about your day and not think of me at all, and I'm stuck here sad and burdened by my feelings for you and hurt and heartbroken over you and my crush for you and my intense feelings for you. So I envy that you get to feel nothing and get to go off scot-free, and I have to deal and sit with this. I think that's what it is. Obviously the lyrics are mostly in Korean, but I think that's the premise. What I was saying is I need somebody to make a business proposal edit to "I Envy You" by Taeyeon, and I need it to be from Hottie's perspective at first, and as the song goes on, and by the end, it switches to from Minwoo's point of view. You get it? Do you see where I'm coming from? I need it to be good, and I need it to make me cry. I would do it myself, but I'm too lazy and I'm not good enough at editing to do that shit. I need a professional fan editor to come in here and do a business proposal edit to the song "I Envy You" by Taeyeon. And the song is from Hottie's perspective at first, and then by the end of the song, it switches to Minwoo's perspective. It needs to be good and it needs to make me cry. That's my criteria. If somebody does it, send me the link or something. But yeah, that idea has been on my mind for years, and I need somebody that is better than me to do it. Also, "I Envy You," not even top 5 K-pop ballads of all time. Top 5 K-pop songs of all time. Top 5 K-pop songs of this decade. Let's do that. That also could be controversial, but that's just my opinion. I really fucking love that song. But anyways, I have to veer off and talk about music at least like 20 times during a conversation. Let's get back on topic to business proposal. Fuck Minwoo. I wish you hell, Yoora. Another K-pop reference, of course. And the fact that Youngso had to cut off her dad on her birthday, which he didn't even know it was her birthday until she told him. That was the last line she said to him. "Did you even know it was my birthday?" Right before she walked out. Love that. Love that. But it's so devastating that she lost. She doesn't have her mother. She had to cut contact with her father, but it's definitely for the best, and he deserves it, and she deserves a life without him constantly over her shoulder. It's just devastating that a father sees his daughter like that. It's so weird and disgusting and devastating, and I'm so happy for her, and I also feel for her so bad. See, and this is also why I hate Taewoon's grandfather and can't feel bad for him even more, because he's going as far as the faking medical emergencies and blaming it on his grandson's loving relationship to get them to break up. Dude, this is villain level shit. You're a bad fucking person. You and that corrupt doctor that helped you lie. Like, he needs to be fired. You're faking medical emergencies just because you don't want your grandson to marry a commoner. How could you be that old and still be that spiteful and vengeful? It makes no sense. his whole tantrum over their relationship makes no sense. Just overall from the beginning. I'm sorry, I have hiccups for some reason. And I forgot that Sung-hoon, after finding out that Young-so quit her job and cut contact with her father, he handed over all of his savings so that Young-so could start a business. Like, that's a man. That is a man. What a man. Sung-hoon, the man that you are. And it's funny how he was faking being sick. And then he actually was sick again. He was faking the medical emergency. Then he actually had one. Hate to say it, but that's kind of karma, dude. Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god. I'm so sorry for all the Taylor Swift lyrics, but they just come so naturally. She has a song for everything. Mr. Gay and Mrs. Yo are such... I don't know why I said Mrs. and Miss Yo are such a cute couple. Oh, yeah. Basically, Taemu's grandfather needed a treatment that's only available in the United States. So Taemu and his grandfather went to New York so he could get the treatment, left Hottie behind because of many reasons that were all valid and made sense. And now we flash forward a year. But I just wanted to quickly shout out Mr. Gay and Miss Yo's relationship because I never mentioned it. They're a very cute couple. That whole scene of them arguing and then him coming back and apologizing to her and acting like a child. Trying to get her to forgive him. I like all the couples on the show except for you know who. I don't even need to say it. And I love the little detail that Taemu gave Hottie the dolls while he was gone. And she has them up on her shelf. It's so cute. I guess I never mentioned them. If you don't know, basically, I actually don't know where she got the dolls from. I don't know where they originated from. But Hottie gave Taemu the dolls after they went to the concert together when she was still being Gumi. And she called them like a worry dolls. Like you could talk to them about all your problems and they look like her and him, Hottie and Taemu. They're basically like the spitting image of them. And Taemu's kept them all this time. And they've made recurring appearances since. But now that Taemu was going in the US and she had to stay there, he gave her the dolls. I just think that's the cutest thing ever, bro. It's such a tiny little detail that I love so much. And just like that, it's over. The last scene is so beautiful. Both of them are dressed really nice, and it's cherry blossoms, which you know, if you know me, you know I love cherry blossoms, so that just bonus points. And it's so cute, and they're so cute, and I'm so mad it's over. I'm so mad it's over. Even though this is like the 11th whatever time I've watched this, I still get so mad when it ends. And first of all, can we talk about how she responded to his proposal with, we'll see about that. Hottie, come on now. Look, a woman has every right to reject a proposal. And yeah, Taemu kind of just forced the ring onto her finger. I don't know. It's cute. Obviously, they're gonna fucking get married. It's just so many things I wanted to see. I wanted to see Hottie and his grandfather finally interact when he's finally accepted her. I wanted to see them actually get along, even though we did get a glimpse of it in the hospital when those little few times where he would let his defenses down and actually warm up to her. But I wanted to see it like for real, like he actually accepts her and they interact again afterwards. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see what am I about to say? I wanted to see Hottie's parents and the grandfather meet for the first time. I wanted to see the wedding. Y'all could have pulled a King of the Land and after the proposal flash forward to the wedding like they did. King of the Land was perfect. If we want to compare those two shows, let's talk about how the ending was kind of better because we got the proposal and we got the wedding. We only got a pseudo quasi proposal that she didn't even say yes to, and it ended. I'm kind of upset, but it's okay. The ending is still sweet. I still like it, and I still absolutely love this show, man. Yes, it makes me mad sometimes, as you can tell, as this podcast is 4.5 hours long, unedited. But that's what I like about it. I like the drama, even though it irritates me. That's why it's called a K-drama. Hello. Oh, I just love this show, man. I don't even know what else to say. That's just it. It's over. It feels like we just started. It'll be interesting to see how long this podcast really is after I'm done editing it. I love it. I think it's a great mix of a lot of tropes. The rich boyfriend, poor girl trope, the fake dating trope, arranged marriage trope, kind of. a little bit, even though no marriage actually happens. Enemies to lovers, kind of in the middle, after he found out that Hottie was lying to him about being Gumi. Workplace relationship trope. Also, I don't know if y'all know the Try Guys and the whole like thing that happened with them. What was it, like 2 years, 2, 3, 2? I don't remember. A couple years ago, the Try Guys, their YouTube channel, it used to be 4 guys, but one of them got exposed for not only cheating on his wife, but cheating on his wife with an employee of their YouTube channel who was also engaged to somebody. And both of their ass got yeeted out that company. Obviously. His name was Ned, if anybody knows. I don't know if anybody knows. This is a very niche group if you know K-dramas, Business Proposal, K-pop, and the Try Guys, and Taylor Swift. This podcast is for a very specific person, aka me. But yeah, they had this whole scandal, and Ned's quote-unquote apology letter, he said, what was it? He said, I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. Family should have been my number one priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? That was the first sentence of the apology letter that he posted. It's the funniest shit ever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure there's like a 20-minute YouTube video essay about it so that you can go watch after this. It's very juicy, so I recommend if you want some tea. But yeah, after that was posted, everybody was posting like different ships from different movies and TV shows, and it's like they had a consensual workplace relationship. Yeah, it became like a little viral meme, and I did it. Even though it got no likes, I did it. They had a consensual workplace relationship, and it was a picture of Hottie and Tamu from the end of the show. I thought it was hilarious, but it got no likes. If you want to go like it, feel free to. My Twitter is Caitlin Beard, Kaelinbeard, like on the man's face. Go like that tweet. I feel like it deserved more. It's one of my best tweets. I was jumping in on a trend. I felt cool, and it got no likes at all. I don't even use it that much anymore because it's just become a hellscape. It has always been like a kind of negative place, but recently after Elon Musk came and wrecked the place, that place is horrible. It's terrible for your mental health. There's this meme. There's this meme that's a screenshot of a video, and the title is "Logging onto Twitter. The video ends when I get mad." And the video was 5 seconds long. It's so... I have to save it on my camera roll because it's so funny and it's so real. It only takes 5 seconds for you to go on Twitter and see something that pisses you off because everybody's just so negative on there. So it's always somebody hating on something or someone. It's just awful. So I steer clear, even though sometimes I can't help myself, but mostly I steer clear from Twitter. I don't know what else to say. I think I've said everything. Love this show. I will forever. This will not be my last rewatch of it. I'll probably be rewatching it for the rest of my life. Also, if anybody's following along from the last episode, XO Kitty got renewed. Let's go. In the last podcast was, if this is your first one, welcome. My last episode was about the Netflix series XO Kitty, which is a spin-off series of To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And I was ranting about how I would literally kill myself if it did not get renewed for a season 3. And it did. I am so happy. I cannot wait to come back and do the commentary for season 3 with y'all. It's gonna be fun. If Kitty and Miho are not together at the end of that season, I will be on the news. I'm serious. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will definitely be doing more commentary stuff in the future, but I will also be doing different episodes. So I hope you tune in for those. You can go to the show's website and support if you want to. Of course, you don't have to. You can follow it. Come and find me on YouTube if you're listening to this on a podcast app. You should come over to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll see you guys for whichever episode, whatever I do next. I come out with one of these every like 3 months because I don't really have that many ideas for it, but maybe that'll change. I love you. Proud of you. Keep going. Live for yourself. follow your dreams, all the things. My next episode might be about the All the Boys I'll Love Before series. So I'm thinking about it. I think I'm going to do it. So stick around for that. Okay. Please end it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.